Well, another band who voiced their anger on stage at Glastonbury were the Nova Twins. Amy Love and Georgia South join us live from Liverpool, where they're playing tonight. And also joining us is the writer Bonnie Greer, an American by birth. She's lived in the UK for the past 35 years.
Hello, everyone. We are here with you at Channel 4 News. With the overturning of the Roe versus Wade, I guess. Yeah, with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, the whole world has been in turmoil. You have no unbelievable. The political ramification even have spread to Glastonbury. Now we go to Bonnie Greer, an American who has lived in the UK for the last 35 years, an expert, and we go to Nova Twins, who have been at musical festivals, I believe. Let's go to them to see their takes. So let's go to you, to Nova Twins, if Amy and Georgina, if I'm not mistaken, or Georgia. Why do you think that you should speak about this topic? Why do you think your voice needs to be heard on this topic?
Oh yeah. It's truly a scary times. It's truly a scary times. You know, we have no idea. We have no idea what's going on. We went on our Instagram feed, and on our Instagram feed, we just saw that, you know, they're banning abortion. They're banning abortion, and you know, it's so disgusting. It's so wrong. You know, after all we've done, all of us, we fought for our rights, all of us together. You know, we don't understand much, but we have a responsibility for the people that are come to our shows to protect them. And you know, it's our rights, it's our bodies. You know, I don't understand, how can somebody just, some judge just make it this? I mean, what is this? I don't get it. How does this work? And I like to also add something, that it's something that was so enshrined. It was so enshrined. It was so, I had no idea to change laws. What is this? I thought it's set in stone. It's so enshrined. So, you know, it's very sad. It's very sad. Oh.
Do you think you could really affect change? I mean, because this is a law that is passed in United States, not in the Great Britain. And, you know, and as we all know, the rights in Britain are not for now in the danger. Do you think it could affect change?
What do you mean? It's in America. What? It's not in Britain? What do you mean? Like, what is, like, I saw it on my Instagram, though. Like, wait, what do you mean? Like US, like, I thought, but that was on my, like, all right, let me. So you're saying that, okay, go to hell. Yeah.
Let's go to Bonnie Greer, who's really, really old, frankly.
I'm not that old.
Okay, not that old, but yeah, quite. So Bonnie Greer, what do you think as an American? Did you ever thought you're gonna lose these rights? Did you ever thought this day is gonna come? And what do you think are the ramifications of this?
Well, what the fuck? I thought the British had some fucking manners. No, I wasn't surprised, because I didn't think these. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into future, but I always knew there is conservatives active in America. So I never thought these rights are in there forever. I'm not a child, you know. I mean, I've experienced abortion myself and all that, and as anybody who is a social scientist can tell you, things change all the time. So no, I didn't think it's, you know, it's something that's never gonna happen. In fact, the conservatives have been at it for years. And I would like to clarify, you're really misinforming people. They didn't ban abortion. They sent it back to the states, which is a bit more insidious. So I think there is some miscommunication with the ladies and all that.
Thank you, Bonnie Greer. So, guys, what do you say to what Miss Greer said? You two, do you believe that? What do you think? Do you think what's going to happen now?
Well, you know, what do I think of her? Yeah, well, to be honest, I just realized that, yeah, you know, I just realized that, yeah, America is not the same as Britain. They have different laws and shit, and so not all women are under. This is fascinating stuff to me. So, like, there are different places, and then there are different laws and rights. So It's not about me. It's about all right.
Yes, I am quite sure that there are different countries. America is a different country than the UK, and they have different rights and laws. So yeah.
Oh, good for you. Good. I have no idea. Good.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching Channel 4 News. We'll be back with more experts soon with you, just like the Nova girls.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're having a decent day. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam, and I'm back with another episode of The Progressive World. So as always, you can find timestamps down below. Please like and subscribe. So here's a quick rundown. We're going to start off with our chit-chat, then some viewer comments. We got a lot of pretty amazing viewer comments this time. Most of them informative, like correcting us or adding information. Some joking around, and one or two harsh one. One pretty harsh one, where I do see some misunderstandings in there though, but I'll try to clarify that one. We'll see. But it was harsh too. I think it was just overall, it was just mean.
No, I think just disagreements, fundamental disagreement. But I mean, I do think he took what we said way
I think
better than we meant it. So let's clarify that. All right, he didn't mean it that much.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. All right, then we'll move on to our kind of super progressive YouTube section. Talk about The Hill, Brianna Joe Gray, the Vanguard, Chapo Trap House, Jacobin, the usual. Anything you want to add here?
No, that's it.
Then move on to some stories regarding Democrats. There's a new Hunter Biden audio, MTG versus AOC.
And some acronym wars.
Yeah. And then we'll wrap up with some smaller stories, the strikes in the UK. We're going to talk about that. Jennifer Aniston and Ezra Miller as well, if I said that correctly.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Nice. Okay, let's move on to the chit-chat, Sam, if that's good with you.
Sure. So what's up? What were you up to as well? I know a bit.
No, I mean,
have you been up to?
No, a lot of both watching and playing tennis. So the Wimbledon is on. But
who's been?
It's still in the third round, so most of the big players are through to the next round. Like Nadal is through, Djokovic is through. But man,
in that Djokovic in? I thought they wouldn't.
No. I mean, the vaccine, because of no, I don't think the vaccine's an issue anymore. They did kick it.
Russia is the issue.
Yeah, well, the number one, like the person who was like one of expected to perhaps win or reach the finals, he got COVID, he tested positive, so he had to completely leave the tournament. Just unfortunate.
You said he was hopeful or something, right?
Yeah, he was he had won like the smaller grass tournament leading up to this one. But I've really realized two things with this tournament, which is, one is like, I don't know, I'm not a hypocrite because I didn't tell anyone to boycott the Wimbledon, but you can say that I'm like a coward because we talked so much shit about, why are they not letting the Russian athletes screw the Wimbledon? Then as soon as it started, I'm watching it, but I knew that was going to happen. And the second one is...
I think you're more of a hypocrite, though.
Hypocrite? I didn't tell anybody not to watch.
Coward. I know, but why would you be like a coward? Because
you're not
brave enough to not watch Wimbledon.
I'm not principled. There we go.
You're not principled.
There we go.
Oh, nobody is.
Yeah. But
okay.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
And then and then the second thing that I realized, so we can talk about all of them, is that the Wimbledon is the most like bourgeois, not bourgeois, like posh looking, like they all dress white at the Wimbledon, all the tennis players and everyone, like everything that is, like upper class kind of association with tennis, it's all there. Because if like in the other tournaments, they don't force you to wear white, but I think here they force all the players to wear white, so people wearing different colors. And I have a funny story about the color white as well, to an extent. We'll get to that.
Go ahead.
Nothing. So I bought tennis shoes, and then like I showed them to my mom, and like, hey, I bought these. And then she's like, why didn't you get white ones? I didn't even connect in my head why she would say that. I was like, well, these ones were on sale, and it is true that they were on sale, so I just threw that in there. But at the same time, I wanted black black ones anyway. And then I
Why
told
did
my
your mom say
sister
white?
because in her head, like tennis players like wear white, so like she thought it was just like weird. Like in her head, she thought like they usually wear white. And then when I was watching the Wimbledon, it hit me. I was like, well, I'm not too surprised that she has that misconception. It's not like she plays tennis or is into tennis, but I was like, what kind of comment? Why would she? Although my mom can't say weird stuff. Like a few months ago when she was here, she's like, why don't you wear jeans? I was like, jeans? She's like, yeah, why don't you wear jeans? I was like, no, it's not the 90s. People don't wear jeans. I don't know.
I like jeans. I like tight jeans. I must say. I wear them because of the holes.
But she meant blue jeans. No, she
meant
not like,
blue. Yeah, exactly. Not blue. That's what dads do.
Yeah. So sometimes the stuff that she says surprises me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the reasoning here? I can't quite follow you.
Why aren't you a good boy?
Okay, that I can answer, but the white and the jeans really threw me off.
These are the reasons why you're not. But wow, okay, all right. No, I mean, I must say, tennis is so. It's not. I wouldn't. It's like it's kind of like. It reminds me of like water parks or cruise. It's not. I swear to God, it's not really. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not top bourgeois. It's that level of aspiring bourgeois, or still like you think they're normal people.
Yeah. It's
they
not.
Think they're normal.
It's not like sailing. It's like
It's not like sailing or like. Even ski is the same as tennis. Ski is the same as tennis, especially if you live in a city that is near a ski.
Yeah, exactly. There it becomes a bit.
Yeah, normal. So no, maybe not. I'm trying to think of this. Golf is similar to tennis, I think.
Yeah, but I wonder if like nowadays though more and more like people just go like regularly golf or just a shooting range, like a golf range. People who don't even have the equipment and all that. So I wonder if that's always been going on or it's now become like more.
I think maybe in cities where they have those. Yeah, they have.
I have yet to go. I wouldn't mind learning.
No.
But it's a good way to hang out. You walk on grass, you hit a few balls, you talk, have a beer.
No, I wouldn't mind somebody telling me let's go play golf and hang out, but then golf to.
But you have to learn a bit before you can play.
I know that's I don't. Yeah, just hang out. I don't get this. Like food. Italians and Iranians have discovered the way to hang out. Food relay. Anyway, but ski golf really befuddle me. Like as a sport, ski is basically a form of, I believe, suicide that has been masquerading as a sport. I don't get it. Like, I'm gonna slide down and I'm gonna increase my speed as I, reach the earth. It's so stupid. But golf is even like, we're gonna like flatten the land and then put weird holes, and it's so weird. The golf is just too weird for me. But
no, but it's like
what was it?
To each their own. Teto.
To each their own.
But no, I mean, I've been like snowboarding since I was a very young age, but I have a lot of problems with the amount of equipment. That's my I hate and I'm scared of lift. That's one thing, but the equipment part is crazy.
I agree with that. It's just the tennis. I remember when I was a kid, I was for the skis. The fucking do you know that thingy? It's like a lumberjack thingy, and you got these.
Because you skied in the 90s, though. I like the clothes are more chilled now.
I know.
I'm picturing you on like wooden skis in the 70s before you were born.
we had those. My grandmother, I think, threw them away. But we had those old tennis rackets, the wooden with the round one. I love those.
My mom had one too, like literally from the 80s. They look hilarious.
They look so much cooler than the new ones. The wooden part especially. But I hated it. The tennis, I hated skiing. And the skiing, it feels like so much trouble. You have to wait in a line to get in a
fucking cabin.
Yeah, I hate that part.
It's just,
Yeah.
and then you go there, get off. All right, guys, what is
No,
this?
but
What is going on?
Iran though had once this slope in Iran, like the main slope in Iran, it's
that Tochal or
no
Dizin?
Dizin. It's actually
Oh.
like an amazing, like it has
one of
multiple
the
slopes.
best.
Yeah, like amazing amount. The snow can of course be really good in Iran, and if it's not too crowded and all that. But the best thing of this one is that if you went through like the up way and not the down way, because there are two ways. There's one way if you went, once you got in the parking lot and you parked your car, you wouldn't have to go take a lift right away. You could straight away like ski or snowboard a bit until like one lift. That was like the best thing. Because the worst is you drove for 2 hours, put on your stuff. Okay, now go make a line.
with two fucking massive sticks. Yeah, I know, man.
At least you want to like go down the mountain a bit.
I remember that's my dad. I think that's the one he liked the most as well. I think.
I mean, that slope is like 5 times bigger than all the other ones in Iran. They're not even compared.
No, yeah, he hates, getting ready to. So I think, yeah, but it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, but I'm just surprised. This like skis. Genuinely, I am surprised by how did that came about, or golf.
But there's mountain involved. Like the mountain experience is a nice thing, though. Like skiing and stuff offers the mountain experience, being in snow and up there and all that. So it has that.
I love that
element to it.
No, it's just I can't believe like that. Like somebody. Was it?
Man, people do much crazier things. Yeah, maybe back then.
I don't know. I'm just like to know what is the historical like roots of this.
Perhaps,
activity. But
walking like doing like the distance thing in some northern countries for sure. Man, but I get this reaction that you have for skiing when I see, because here you see it a lot too. The other ones where they just fly around. This guy's just like flying around. I'm like, okay. I would never do bungee jumping. I mean, if ever someone puts a gun to my head, I'll parachute off a plane. Because at least maybe you'll enjoy 1 second of it when you're coming down. The bungee jumping is just heart attack up and down until someone. I would
love to do these things if it's part of a mission. If I'm part of IMF from Mission Impossible organization, not the actual IMF. If I'm part of that and they tell me parachute, go on one of these things, I'll do it. I like I'm running away from somebody, but just for weird, like just for fun, no, fuck that. This is bullshit. Parachuting, I like to try that too. I like to try, you know what? I know it's like I hate bungee jumping and all that, but you know that thing they have, like it's like a scary bridge. It's like those old bridges in South America that is, but you're connected to a rope that if you fall, like I like to try that just to see if I can keep my balance.
So terrifying.
But it looks that one like is interesting, but just literally I'm gonna jump in a cave and then bounce back. What is that? Cave diving? They do that?
I don't know if that's a thing.
It's a big thing. It's just what is wrong with you people?
And one thing I know for sure is a real one.
I'm sure
where they ski off a mountain and they literally ski off the mountain and open their parachute. That's like crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's again, if I'm in a James Bond situation and I need to do that, I would love to. But just I mean that one seems like go and with a speed. I don't know.
But how was your weekend? Before you answer, maybe just dial your fan 1 down. I think I can.
Sure.
Okay, all right, perfect. Yeah. How was your week? I've watched, by the way, one show that we haven't perhaps discussed, or I think I told you. No, I told you. It's this TV show that they made. It's by Amazon. Previously, there was a documentary. It's about this guy, this American 50-year-old guy. His wife dies falling down a staircase. And he gets sent to jail for 15 years. Yeah.
What's the name of the show? Is that? I wondered. I need to.
The Staircase miniseries.
The Staircase.
It just finished.
All right. I didn't watch that or hear.
It has Colin Firth in it and Tony Collette. So they're the husband and wife. They're the husband and wife. Yeah.
I wonder if it's. Let me just check something. But Colin Firth, I love him, man. He's one of those actors. I feel like he got like for a couple of years, sadly, because of King's Speech, he got that liberal credit, and because of that, but he's unbelievably. If you watch his, especially British movies, he's like a chameleon. He can genuinely. It's unbelievable.
But in
how
this
he
one,
can
I
shift.
feel like maybe if you get to watch it, let me know. I feel like his accent though was like pretty British in this one. It wasn't like that American, but like maybe the guy, like, you know, maybe where the guy's from, because, you know, sometimes you have a stereotypical American accent in your head, but in some places it doesn't sound exactly like that. So maybe it was actually kind of close to the real accent of the guy. But yeah, I had actually seen the documentary as well. And so in this TV show, the documentary is incorporated into the TV show, because like the TV show and one of the editors of, the documentary plays a big role. She kind of falls in love with him and things like that.
Oh,
so this TV kind of has the documentary
Sophie
in it.
Turner is in it. Juliette Binoche. Harrison Ford?
Because no, not Harrison Ford. Because French people make the documentary.
Oh, okay, I see. It looks fascinating. I love Toni Collette, another Aussie who's one of the, again, Australians probably, again, per capita, I would say, produce the best, like, most amazing actors overall. But yeah,
check it out if you
looks
want.
Great.
Although, even though it is the genre that I love,
not as good as usually.
I don't know. I wouldn't give it more than a 7-ish.
Out of 10?
I don't know. Yeah, 7 or 8-ish. Yeah.
What was the big issue?
I wasn't like, I didn't love it as much as I do sometimes with these shows. That's really
like a story.
Just
actors,
a little bit.
Anything.
Yeah, just the story a little bit, how it progressed. I guess I just wasn't as hooked as sometimes I am with these shows. So just comparing them according to that. I heard this guy, he said, you know why gymnasts, like referees in gymnastics and stuff, never give like a score higher than like a 9.8 or something? So if there's someone better, then you can give a higher score. So I'm just ranking this show compared to other shows. Gymnastics.
All right.
Where the judges the judges don't give more than they won't give a 10, because if the next person is better, then what are you gonna do? I heard this on Instagram. Exactly. I don't know if it's true, but the guy made sense.
Yeah, I think their sources are like, but yeah, I've heard that about ballet as well. Yeah, it makes sense because anyways, but yeah, that looks actually good. I'll check that out. It's mini. What was it, Netflix or
it was
what?
a good 10 episodes on Amazon. Sorry, HBO. So you have to.
So that's good.
You have to use your HBO account.
My HBO account. Sure. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. But no, that looks good. That looks good.
But so, anything else? Anything else special?
No, I wasn't really up to anything. I listened to this sort of audio show, Sunshadow. It's actually, it's like, I think it's set in Australia, right? It's in Brisbane, Queensland. It's on Audible. It's got some of the Australian actors I like from Rake and stuff.
Who are your favorites?
So, I mean, nobody knows them. Dominic, I think, what's his name? Dominic, where is it? Damien Garvey. Damien Garvey. He's amazing. So, and it's kind of a crime set in 1960s Australia. Crime, sort of cop that is corrupt, but he's a bit of it's kind of got a Training Day sort of vibe to it. There's a informant type thing. So it's interesting. But Sunshadow, I recommend that. I've been listening to that, but this week, what did I do? Nothing much. Just I try not really. Didn't watch anything. Didn't read anything. I did come to a conclusion this week, which I'll discuss in the show, which is I'm gonna stop watching a lot of YouTube stuff, to be honest. Not YouTube as a website, as a website, but mostly like, you know, the stuff we talk about. I'm gonna stop watching these shits because it's just
Some of them, perhaps. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna hopefully again go back to Moby Dick and 1984, and that. Not that they're much better,
Yeah.
but you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's nice.
So,
So
you
we'll
know,
talk about that in a bit. Then I guess I'm excited about that. See who
hopefully.
you're gonna mention exactly. But you know, I mean, every now and then you just see stuff that are like interesting from anyone, though, like Breaking Point, that I crap on all the time, you know, and say all this stuff about Sagar. At least once a week, I just click on one of their videos, but I don't like watch any of them religiously at the moment.
Oh no,
Or like
to be honest,
every one of them. Like I remember when I first discovered The Rising over whenever that was, like there was a good 2-month period where I'd watch every one of their videos that would come out almost.
No, that's the thing is, I keep saying that I don't want to watch these things. I genuinely try to not watch them. But the thing is, they discuss issues I like. So that's why sometimes I'm forced to. But no, I'm not going to stop watching. But I'm going to definitely try to, you know, this is like, yeah. We got to change the show again. we are reformatting the show.
We'll talk about it. But okay, should we move on to some viewer comments then?
Sure.
All right, let's move on to some of these viewer comments. Although I think you wanted to say something else before that, Sam.
Oh yeah, this week I've been getting my ass kicked on Battleship, Connect the 4, and God of War, man. That I did not see coming. My nephew is so good at God of War. You played God of War?
No, never.
It's you know, third person action. It's kind of like Max Payne, but with swords, I guess, and axe, that type of thing. And it's quite
But these
hard.
are all games that you guys can play against each other?
No. I mean, Battleship is and Connect the 4. But no, the God of War, he plays it, and then whenever he was stuck, he used to come to me because I could solve the puzzles or, you know, something like that. Or a big monster. But then there was this monster at some point in the game. I couldn't beat the monster, and he just, you know, started playing and stuff, and I was doing my thing, and then I came back and he beat the monster. It was really it was very disappointing in some.
You're gonna be useless to him very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Okay, Uncle, I'm done with you. You have nothing else to teach me. It's time to die. Oh shit. Yeah, our family works like the Sith in the Star Wars. Thing. But so it's been Battleship also was disappointing to lose it. Although that's more luck.
And so. FIFA, you guys don't play, or he's not into it, or have I asked this?
No, he's into it, but not that much. I have one controller. If I go to his house, I can play FIFA. But I'm.
Well, if I ever see him, that's the game he's gonna have to challenge.
I've been very working hard on him to put him off football. It hasn't been successful very much, but because he goes to summer school and summer camp or whatever, and they have football. He loves football and basketball and all that. I'm very much anti all these.
That's what they do in Iran.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, have you thought about fencing?
No, but what about wrestling class? Do they offer wrestling classes in school?
Nah. I mean, they do in summer schools, not in. No, he's been taught by his dad and me about traditional Islam. But no, it's not a systematic education. Krav? No, Iranian traditional. But no, volley, taekwondo. He loves taekwondo. He performs his activities for me. And then he's what's that? He's learning breakdancing.
Oh, really?
Breakdancing.
Wow,
yeah.
That's good. That's athletic.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, okay. Whatever. I mean, feel like that's an excuse for doing a stupid thing. Anyway, just I'm very ambivalent on the whole dance thing, to be honest. I'm not.
You move, you don't go anywhere. It feels very.
That's your whole
counterproductive.
life. You just described your life in 3 words.
No, no. I go to the
You just
bathroom. I come back.
You just move
kitchen,
around
come
in
back.
that chair every now and then. Just turn on the camera.
I move.
Do an episode.
I move around. I don't just sit. I don't move without moving. It's shaking. You move without going anywhere. It's nonsense. But yeah, but he does the breakdance moves and they're so complicated.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, now you do it. And I'm like, what? It's like, you saw me do it. Oh, Jesus.
Jeez, that's hilarious. Good stuff.
They're just doing that.
Very nice, very nice. And there's an amazing UFC coming up this Saturday. I just remembered, so I'll be looking forward to that.
I
Some
don't
big
know
fights,
anybody's.
few big fights, championship fights.
Is
good ones.
UFC is like tennis? Do they have different championships, or is it like football?
They're
they have one
different
World Cup?
companies. No, they're different companies. So
Oh,
UFC is actually a company, but it just owns like
like
80% of
WWE?
the MMA market. Yeah. It's exactly like WWE. WWE is technically a brand, but at the same time, it's so
they
big.
So how do they fight? Wait.
They own like 80% of the world's best fighters. So that's what you
They
usually
own
hear.
them?
On contract. Sorry, they have them under contract. So there are other organizations, and I watch them sometimes, but they're not that famous. There's like Bellator, there's like one championship. There are a bunch, and there are much smaller ones regionally, everything. But yeah, UFC is the brand, which is just, and the organization that's so big that it kind of became synonymous with just the sport.
All right.
Yeah.
No, it's just okay. No. I hope they beat the shit. I don't know what to say.
No, you can just say, I hope you have fun watching them.
Yeah, break a leg.
I didn't say I'm partaking. I'll be playing tennis later, though, today. You can say break a leg for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who are you playing against again? Have you found some younger females again too?
Listen, this person is the best in their class, okay?
And their class are a bunch of 12-year-olds.
You know, in Seinfeld, Kramer goes to karate classes, and he's like, I'm the master of my dojo. And then you find that he goes to the kids' class.
Suck.
So ridiculous.
Just beating the shit out of kids.
But okay, I just wanted to, let's look at these comments, right?
Sure.
So the first one concerns, that bullshit thing where Sager compared Europe to America. Just such a funny, stupid thing to do. And I think like Jeff did two things. One is it fair to treat all of Europe like these countries? No, it is not fair to treat all of America as Texas
like
and blah,
Texas
blah, blah. So first point is like, just the whole exercise was kind of stupid. However, after that, he pointed out that, some examples of racism, and you pointed out some free speech things, that happened in Europe and not in the US. And I think there maybe I really based it too much on my own personal experience. And, I do think that perhaps some bigger European cities, do have perhaps, racism issues that are very comparable to
I told you this story.
To US and freedom of speech issues too, and things like that. So I just wanted to perhaps dial that back in a bit, admit perhaps I was a bit wrong there. Although the whole Sager thing was hilarious, but I think Jeff summarized the ridiculousness, but also some good points that I had perhaps overlooked. But you mentioned them.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing last time. But
I think exactly. No, I know you did.
In America, there is this weird thing with the black culture, black, white. Like that's really, I don't know. Yeah. I haven't seen anything like that. But in Europe, they're definitely more. Like I don't know, maybe they're older, but depends where, mainland Europe especially, mainland. Like UK is much better, but you go to Spain, they throw bananas at like, black players and shit. And you have a slightly like darker skin than a white wall. They look at you a bit fun. So no, it's the same. It's probably the same amount. Who's
no, but there's and the differences are really when it comes to like big cities and smaller cities, and these are the same for both places. I mean, the place where I think like like, where's the like the
By the
capital.
way, are we? By
Yeah,
the
go
way,
ahead.
are we counting Eastern Europe or not? Because I wasn't
Yeah.
counting Eastern Europe in this.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a totally different ball game. I think we should put it
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just clarifying. Poland eastwards is out of this discussion.
Yeah, no,
That's
100%.
not really, that's Russia. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but as a brown person, I think one of the best places I've ever been and seen is like Toronto, like downtown, all of Toronto. Like there, you just feel at home as as a brown guy. You're like
don't know.
50% of the population. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Some parts of it, but yeah.
I to be honest, I do find, I don't know, I find multicultural places or that type of stuff extremely alienating,
Oh,
to be
really?
honest. Yeah, I find them to be very fake, very like phony, very
I don't
all
know.
of
I
them.
don't get that.
I,
I
I'm,
mean,
I'm
it's just
talking about Pakistani areas, for example, or Indian areas in London, or at the same time,
but yeah, no,
like
but that's not what
liberal
I'm talking about, though.
Brighton.
I just meant like more areas in specific areas where you see all kinds of people. So not pockets of
Yeah.
different like nationalities, but then like in bigger
Brighton.
cities in the downtown parts, they usually all kind of come together. They're more mixed, I feel, than like different pockets like this.
No, that's what I was saying. I mean both like areas like Indian areas in London or Pakistani areas, or the areas like Brighton. I mixed whatever. I'm not big. I find the whole thing very. I find the people that live in these people who are like the people who like you see a guy who wears kente cloth, or you see somebody dressed in fucking Palestinian fucking scar. All of them, they're the biggest phonies and fake people, and I don't know. I hate. I
don't know about that.
feel much more home at somewhere where people all dressed in gray and crap, and I don't know. I really hate those places. I feel just like I don't know. I really do. Like a lot of people with different hair colors or different, it just makes
it
me
is your
uncomfortable.
lived experience, I guess. I can't really say anything
Not my
else
lived
against
experience, it's my opinion.
It's your
Stop
opinion.
using that fucking term. I don't have
It's
my
your
only
opinion.
lived experience is Sam. But yeah, I just don't like, I'm not a big fan of, I don't know, there is a phoniness to it that is just unbelievable in my view. I need grime. I need dirt. It feels too,
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to this next comment.
East Shoreditch in London. Go ahead.
Let's move on to the next comment. Now, this one, I think this one shows just how ridiculous the whole exercise was. Dynamic refers to income mobility, because at one part, Sagar said the US is more dynamic, and Sam and I were like, what is he talking about? So Corey thinks that it means income mobility. And then he goes on to say, even when Europeans immigrate to the US, they have more prosperity than they do in their home nation. I mean, I think this is really one of those that kind of case by case where you're talking about and also income mobility in the US makes it a bit laughable. But Europe also has those problems. But yeah, I think this just shows how stupid the whole thing is, really.
The whole thing is. No, I mean, it's a completely stupid comparison. But I would say, it depends on the case by cases, especially motherfucking immigrants, man. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of immigrants in general. Seriously, why? They ruin every, like they tend to be the worst people from their society usually. I mean, everybody makes fun of the American.
How do you know that? What kind of generalization is that? Yeah, you're gonna give some anecdotal examples.
No. I swear to God, man, they are the people who like losers in their own society. They go to other societies. They're slightly more successful and slightly fit in better there, and they're like, oh, this is so much like those thieves and Puritans that went to America and thought they're creating a new Jerusalem or whatever, or all the idiots who came to Iran and thought you're creating a new Jerusalem.
Okay, so you're talking about specific groups of types of immigrants, and there are all kinds. There are some going from more developed countries to less developed countries.
I'm not
people
talking about
from
refugees.
Different, no, but even non-refugees, people from different income situations going. So I mean, think a bit of a generalization, but I like the examples that you give. I mean,
They are-
talk about. I'll give an example that backs what
Man,
you're saying.
so many
Hold
immigrants.
on, let me give an example that backs what you're saying. Although these folks are not called immigrants, they're considered as expats, but quote unquote expats
I hate
in the
them. I hate
UAE.
them.
So in Dubai or in the UAE, who come from England or
Disgusting.
other places, they think they're much more superior than other people. But that's one type of like immigration style and experience. I don't think, when you think
what
of
about-
immigration,
what about
people
the
think the other
Indian-
way. Yeah, no,
Wait a
there
minute.
are,
What about
there are all
Indian and
kinds of
Pakistan?
things. I'm
Listen,
just saying,
okay.
but I wasn't done speaking.
Okay.
But there are all kinds of ways. But I mean, so this example, I think, backs it off. But let's see
I
what
think
you're going to
it's-
say.
No, I just think you can say, like, you look at most immigrant communities, they suck. Especially if they're immigrant communities, because they get together and they're like, oh, let's form a, I don't know, Irish pub, let's form an Indian restaurant, let's form a blah, blah. And they just stay in their cul-de-sac. They don't join the larger culture usually until they're forced to. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
all
I
of
feel
them.
you
I
there.
mean,
That's not everyone, but yes, some
no, it's
some
not
do
everyone.
that. Yeah.
But majority of immigrants are not really. I mean, yeah, there's.
And it depends at what age you come in and like how you can integrate and
Oh yeah,
who you are and all
that's
these
the big-
things. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
making a business, but
Expats,
making like a
immigrants.
business though is different from that's related to your home country than like just living only in that kind of circle and all that. I mean, slightly
No,
different,
no.
but it's like a
No, it's
small-
slightly different, but yeah,
small
I'm just
thing I'm
that
saying
was an
anyway, yeah.
example that. Yeah, like I've seen communities that immigrant communities that we should respect and try to, oh, why don't you welcome them all? They don't even learn the fucking language. For 40 years they're in some country. They don't, they're still dressing like fucking wizards from medieval times
I mean,
or
dress,
something.
you dress however you want, but yeah, the language,
Sure.
I agree, and a lot of people do learn the language, and just some people migrate very late, so some people is because of that, and they don't really like. Let's say like if you're 40 or 50-year-old like housewife who
always so
emigrates
in
to
love-
another country, they often don't even have that much interaction with other places to learn the language that much. But that's just some anyway. That's one bit of exaggeration too.
Yeah, they're so in love with their whole house is like stuff from their original culture and shit. So go
That would
back
be you.
there.
I feel like that would be
Me,
you
ma-
putting
when-
your own
I
stuff
wasn't-
everywhere.
when you came to my house, was that?
But
had
nowadays,
a
I feel
TV.
like if you move, you would bring all your beloved Iran stuff.
I have some. No, well, I don't know, but I talk about this a lot. But
True, you
yeah,
just talk, you replace it with
talk. Yeah, I talk. No, but yeah. Anyways, I'm not.
your
I've been-
generalizations kill me. Like
I know,
just
I know.
Start off
No,
with a
it's just-
bombshell.
I start, yeah, to be honest, and then it gets narrower.
I hate
and-
all humans. Okay, wait.
That is true. That is 100% true. I hate all humans. That is 100% true. I don't feel like I need to justify that at all. They all
Man,
suck.
You're
including
100% just reminded me of Jenk because in that video that you made the sketch of Jenk, like 100%. That's how you started up. Oh, that was
humans
one of your
suck.
best, man. Him and Sam Seder. You should do one where Sam Seder and Jenk debating.
Let's hope they meet up. Let's hope they. Oh man! By the way, what did I do last week? Oh, yeah, the Sam Seder one though. I didn't think it went as well as some people left very nice comments, but I don't know. It didn't feel.
I
as
think you
funny.
just
There wasn't
look
as
really
many
good
jokes.
with the glasses and everything. You just come off like a good Sam Seder. But okay, all right. Ooh, speaking of nice comments.
By the way, the whole
this one
immigrant
isn't
thing
so
is
nice.
I know, but the whole immigrant thing was exaggeration and a joke. So people calm
Mhm.
down before
That's your
telling
new
me.
thing, huh?
No, that's what it's a satire.
I mean, we do have
Yeah.
hashtag satire.
Hashtag satire. Hashtag
Explains
don't kill
everything.
us. Don't
We
put
should
us
tell
in
Amber
jail.
Heard about that. Maybe she doesn't know. About
Yeah.
it. Did you know the Greeks gave us the satire?
That's a get out of free jail card. Islamic Republic.
Your Honor, Your Honor.
I don't hate all immigrants. I was joking.
Satire. You a piece of shit? No.
Satire.
All right. Yeah. speaking of being nice, Rebunked wasn't very nice to us. So he goes, so this is again about the whole Sagar thing and the Europe versus US progressive tweets video from a few days ago. You idiots are going to begin by arguing about perceptions of wealth. Kenya is really, really advanced. London owns most of America. What? Abortion is more difficult to... Okay. Before you get there, so I mean, I think this person...
Let's go one by one.
So Kenya is really advanced. I'll try to explain what Sam... Yeah, I don't even know what he's saying there. But let me just say what Sam, I think, was trying to say. You were trying to say that sometimes we think like, all these other countries are pieces of shit. Whereas, no, actually, you go to a lot of countries around the world where you might have that perception. And it's far more advanced, developed, or whatever it is that you want to say. So, of course, Sam doesn't think that, Kenya has the GDP of Germany or like, the road transport system of like Sweden or like wherever. I don't know why I picked Sweden, Germany again, safe one. But yeah, I think you were just trying to say, although it doesn't mean that all the other countries are pieces of shit. I think that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, and I was trying to point out, and I should have probably said it like this, that, we live in a world, to be honest, that cities own the rest of the world. By what I mean, I think London owns most of the world. So does New York, so does LA. So does Tehran to a lesser extent, or Moscow or Tokyo. These urban centers are by far like the most advanced, and then they're surrounded by these rural areas that are very much underdeveloped. For example, you go outside of Tehran and plumbing becomes sometimes an issue, but then you go to another city and it's okay, like rural areas. So Kenya came to my mind specifically because there are loads of tours on Kenya, and my friends recently went there. And for example, the internet speed, the hotels, the city, all of that is just super advanced, because it even looks more advanced than America, for example, or Europe, because it's new. Because it's new. You go to Europe, everything, you open a door and the whole house might fall
in many
apart.
places,
even like very expensive places, very beautiful place, or even Caucasus. I've been to Caucasus, lived there for a long time. You go to expensive places, old beautiful castles or whatever, but it's old, and there's no proper internet, and the floors are not even or something. You know what I mean? So just in terms of luxuriousness, we think of luxury as Las Vegas and LA only, but I think I was just trying to point out here. And I'm sure, by the way, that's the thing, like I always make fun of Arkansas. We get to that too. Arkansas is like, I have that because in 90s, to be honest, Bill Clinton was coming up, and Arkansas was, I remember Bill Clinton talking about the fact that they didn't have indoor plumbing or something. So, I'm sorry, but it's a shithole. Arkansas is a shithole. Don't try to, I'm joking again. But, the point being, it's uneven, and development is uneven everywhere. But I don't know about
I think
perceptions.
But after that, I think he made 2 points that were the most, perhaps. Then he goes to say that abortion is more difficult to acquire in most European states than in the US.
If you include Eastern Europe, that's true.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if you compare to perhaps New York or California, these kind of places, maybe it's easier.
No, he's talking US with whole of
Europe. But not everywhere in US, right? Some places in US, I'm pretty sure it's very difficult, especially with Roe v. Wade now going away.
Now it is. Now it is. Now half of America. But at the time when he was making the comment, it was still not.
He wrote the freedom of speech one, which this is why I think there was a misunderstanding. You corrected me on that, actually. So saying that
talk about Muslims in France.
So you gave those examples, and then he wrote, "I'm not even halfway through this garbage, and I'm done." Two mouth breathers giggling stupidly at the vacuousness of their own intellect isn't a discussion. And if this was what you're excited for material, then just delete this channel. Yeah, because in the beginning I mentioned I have an exciting one on Sagar, which was that one. So yeah, very harsh of you, Rebunked, I would say, but hey, to each their own.
All right, you excited? Then just delete this channel. Well, thanks for that. But yeah, we were just waiting for your comment on how, we have our 7 regular viewers, but your comments now is,
Well, yeah. I mean, look,
Yeah.
it's uneven everywhere. It depends. That's why, by the way, class analysis is the best, because you like people are like you. Like that's. I think I talked about it the other week. These like always liberal. Would you rather to live in the USA, or would you rather in Kenya, or would you
Where
rather
would I
live
have more money? You tell
Yeah,
me.
exactly. If I'm middle class, depends, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Like with good money,
sure.
third world, like
Or no,
so
with
far.
good money anywhere, man.
No.
With good
With good
money.
money, yeah. But with like if you're relatively rich, you live a far
Yeah.
more better life in India or in Iran
Your
than you
money
do in
goes
Europe
further,
or
especially if you're rich in like US dollars or
no,
something,
no,
of
no,
course,
not
right?
not even just your money going further, because there is lack of societal structures. You can do like even if you have more money in a lot of cases,
Yeah,
you
fair
have
enough.
to have Bezos money to do a lot of shit, but in like you're a middle class person in Iran and you can buy like half of the judges in town, like you know what I mean. It's like it's ridiculous. So I mean it's just it's
Yeah.
such a stupid comeback. We shouldn't have really done that, to be honest.
No,
We
it was
shouldn't have.
fun.
It was your fault. You got us stuck to this idiot Seder. I'm not watching Breaking Point anymore. I'm fuck that. I'm losing IQ over some fucking idiots like censorship. What was this about? Which one was this? This was about
This was just
censorship.
just about Europe versus
The tweet thing. Yeah.
where is it better to live?
And he may have been joking, to be fair to him.
Okay.
He
I
may have
mean,
been
nowadays,
tweeting.
3 full tweets with paragraphs can be jokes, perhaps. I don't think so,
Really?
actually. No, it wasn't. I highly doubted knowing him. But anyway, Jared left a few good comments, but this first one kind of baffled me. So we're going to get to his good one after this. But this one, it says, okay, Kam, if you can mandate vaccines, then why not mandate abortions or forced sterilization? I don't quite get this one. Maybe
So
Sam.
he is saying that if there is a legal precedent, like I guess if
But
we
what's the
shouldn't,
point? I mean, I'm not saying we should mandate the COVID vaccine because I don't think it's useful. If it was perhaps useful and stop spread, what does that have to do with just mandating abortions?
well,
and
they say
forcing-
that, yeah, like he's saying the legal, like what would legally stop a government from doing the other stuff, I guess.
But I mean, I don't know. Legally, I don't know. But I mean,
Well,
vaccines have been mandated in the past and didn't lead to
But-
this. I mean, just because you can do something doesn't mean you're gonna do it. I don't
Sure,
get it,
and
really.
to be honest, in some cases, in individual cases, there may be grounds for government to mandate abortion or forced sterilization, I guess.
Potentially, I
know.
can't think of the cases,
Potentially.
but yeah, maybe
Yeah.
there is, maybe a case could come up. But yeah, I didn't quite get this one, Jared, to be completely honest.
There was I remember there was a guy in Florida with 40 fucking kids.
Mm.
He should be forced and sterilized immediately. Like Jesus.
Perhaps. But here, now this comment of Jared, I think he got to really a good point that Sam was making the whole time too. The abortion debate is specifically about when life begins. Everyone agrees murder is wrong, so being a vegan Christian makes no difference on the issue. That is why 99% of Americans talk past Jerry. Even their slogans pro-life and pro-choice are not contradictory. So they only speak to those who already agree. The entire issue, here we go. The entire issue rests on one single unknown fact. At what point has a new life entered our universe? If you don't have an answer to that question, then you can't even have a position abortion. Now, we can derive that answer in some scientific ways based on some scientific indicators. Now, it's not like truth for thing, but the scientific part doesn't take into consideration the whole soul part, which is how religious people come to see it. So yeah, we cannot. So yeah, we
scientifically though, there is no scientific definition of a consciousness. Therefore, there is no definition of when consciousness comes into being. Therefore,
but you can take a different approach through scientific way. I don't know, something to do with
I
physical
would disagree with
capacities or categories.
I think he's completely. I mean,
no, I know he's right. Yeah, I agree with.
No, somebody else also wrote somewhere. It's a philosophical question where life begins. Therefore,
where life begins, life. The word life, for sure. But maybe if you put it in some more material way, you could find a scientific definition.
if you do, but if you don't agree with that, I mean, all
No,
these
that's the whole
idiots,
point. Yeah.
yeah, all these idiots going, well, I would like to point out that the morning after pill is actually not an abortion. It's about the process of stopping the this is before that, and fertilization is implanted.
Which is true.
True, but it's okay. Most people give a shit about that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
all right. Now, because I'm sure God, when I'm reading Bible, in the Bible, it says, oh, if you know, after fertilization is the problem. Before fertilization was not a problem for the God.
Yeah.
She's
That's the thing. So the thing is, like, if you're religious
as if
person,
these
you
idiots,
can. Yeah.
these
Go ahead,
idiots
sorry.
are buying into the fucking rackets that the Christian and the religious have basically put up during 90s and stuff. You know, people with like Liz Wolf, the pregnant lady who comes on the hill with a gun. These assholes who, no, this is not about Christian rights, or it's not about, you know, Christians. It's about the fact that now we know more about science and life. Where does life begin? And we more understand about what's going on in the stomach of a lady and all that. And they're buying into that narrative that this is about that oh, now we have to do a scientific research because there we can establish truthfully where does life begin. You can't. It's not a scientific fucking question. It's a philosophical one, and it's up to individual person to answer.
In that sense,
so
no,
it's
scientific
playing into their hands. It's playing into their hands. It's in their fucking body. They get to choose until they come out of their body.
No, listen, I completely understand. I completely agree. But the only thing I want to say is that scientifically, you could reach some kind of consensus based on a definition that you pick for like human or person or something like that, based on your definition, scientifically. But it will not really resolve.
It will be a consensus.
Yeah.
It won't be a exactly.
Yeah, and it won't really resolve the thing of I mean, you know, if you tell me like, I mean, you know, if you say like, the spirit of, I mean, it is ridiculous. So someone doesn't believe these things, I can't even say it. It's just ridiculous. But I guess a religious person could just be like, you know, the moment that they had sex or whatever, at that point the soul was conceived of the baby.
I mean, if you're talking,
they can say whatever they want, right? They can say whatever.
They believe there was like we're talking about certain groups of them believe in predestination. So they believe every like order of things. Anyway, but like there was some other, I think one of the regular, like Pani Trotsky, I think, said that, you know, most people can differentiate between different stages of baby being and stuff. I'm sure they can, but that doesn't mean, like, again, it doesn't really answer the question, where does life begin? To them, it begins, you know.
Which is a relevant question, because you can just be like, listen, you can have abortion whenever you want to have an abortion, but if you don't agree with that, then
don't agree with what?
Well, they don't. I mean, like, you know, because instead of making it that complicated, you can just be like, you know, you can have an abortion whenever you want to have an abortion. But I guess there's some people, like, you know, some stakeholders that stop others from doing that in society. Because, I mean, the question is as simple as that, right? If someone wants to have an abortion, they should just be allowed to have an abortion. But we're forced to, you know, provide all these kind of arguments and points in order to win the debate. And many of them, you know, you can't win because you can't reach like a common understanding.
I would argue, again, as somebody again in the comments, I think, correctly agreed with me. It's worthless. It's pointless to argue. Again, it's like this,
especially in short term. Maybe if you do long term form of, I don't know, education or teaching and stuff, and you have less religious people,
But arguing, debating is pointless. It's a liberal disease. It's an idea rooted in this bullshit Greek fucking sickness. This Greek sickness that has frankly really destroyed social sciences. This idea that bunch of losers can sit in bunch of armchairs and discuss about issues, and then, oh, that's a better argument. Oh no, that's not a better. Oh, what a counter argument. This is all bullshit. It's all about forces. It's all about power. It's all about economy. All the rest is bullshit.
I mean, they're good arguments.
Fucking just don't. I mean, I hate George Orwell, but he did say a couple of good things. One of them was that you don't want to wrestle with a pig. You end up getting muddy, and you find out the pig likes it. And you shouldn't wrestle with these muddy. Like somebody who
Yeah.
like,
It
oh,
doesn't mean that your arguments aren't good. It doesn't mean that, yeah, you're refining your arguments perhaps and you're reaching better arguments, sure. But if they don't agree with the form that you argue your premise or the ideas that you have, it's pointless. It's just like wrestling with that pig. I mean, you might be you might be using the best techniques or whatever you have to wrestling with a
but
pig.
the pig is
but
pig
yeah.
is liking the. That's about the wrestling for them. It's
Yeah.
about the
It's
wrestling.
not gonna go
Not
anywhere.
about the winning. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So anyways,
Yeah, no, good point. But okay, and then last one, Bobby had some great comments,
awesome.
and I just wanted to point out this one. STS. Many people in America suffer from TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. A lesser known mental illness is STS, Sagar derangement syndrome. There are only 2 cases. So unfortunately, I got
Confirmed.
it and I gave it to Sam through
Typhoid Mary. Yeah. Yeah.
through the internet, through Telegram.
I feel like no, it wasn't you got it. I mean, I was so dismissive of Sagar from beginning.
Yeah.
But then you kept sending me videos to rise me up, basically, and get a reaction out of me. And yeah, I mean, he's just there. I mean, it's a joke. I mean,
Yeah.
come
All
on,
right.
like, I can't take anybody that stupid seriously, really. Or, I mean, anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you there. No, nothing. Let's get the real show started. All right, Sam. So, let's get started. What do you have for us today?
Sure. Before that, I like to clarify on my "I don't like immigrants" comment. I would like to say one thing I've always found very interesting about like immigrants in Iran, in America, in UK, everywhere. What I found somewhat interesting is that their children also, how bad they turn out. Like you have this trend. No, it's a genuine like thing that second generation immigrants tend to be very conservative. And it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating. Like a significant majority. Of course, I'm not talking about everybody.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't hate. I was an immigrant for a long time. So, it's...
I'm an immigrant as we speak.
Yeah. Yeah, you're... Well, are you?
Yeah, of course.
Still? Oh, I thought you might have... Don't you have citizenship by now or something?
No, I don't. No.
In Switzerland, it's like 100 years, right? And
No.
sacrifice a child to the Nazi goat or something.
They say 10 years when you're married, so we shall see.
All right. But so,
But man,
I'm
once
just,
I have
it's
that
very-
though,
Yeah. What happened? I don't know.
I'll be a new identity. I'll be like, I'll be like these new CIA agents that they give a new identity, because in Switzerland, in the passport, they don't like the origin, they don't put place of birth. They just put origin, and then they put the province that you got your nationality in. So they'll just put Geneva. So there'll be no more mention of Iran, Tehran once I get that passport.
Yeah,
So,
and it would be so difficult to figure that out from looking at you.
Hey, I could be
Definitely
Brazilian.
Swiss. Yes, that's a good thing about being brown. You can go from like India to South America to Middle East. You can be from any. If you're like whichever country at that moment is in the news for terrorist activity, you pretend to be from the other too.
Yeah.
No,
that was the
I'm
old
not.
days, huh? That was the old days, huh?
No, it
The
changed.
terrorist
like,
association days, yeah.
yeah, if Cubans like flare up again or something, we have to stop pretending to be South American again. No, Middle Eastern oil money. Yeah.
But
Italian and Spanish is the safest usually. They tend to be quite.
Yeah.
Italian is hard to get away with though, because
I think Brazilian though is good too.
I don't know. It's not really an improvement. Okay, sorry to Brazil, I guess. I don't know. And to Iran. But so that was it. But
I mean, I guess maybe they come from conservative families already though, and then they remain conservative, because you rarely see someone who comes from like a non-religious family and then the second generation suddenly becomes religious. But it's some that
Exact-
maybe like if their parents were really religious, yeah, then they also remain
No, actually, it's,
religious.
if you look at least this, there was a study in the UK that showed that second generation Muslims, this was, I think, in the wake of ISIS or just before ISIS, like they're far more hardcore than their parents because they, you know, the immigrants go and they join the middle. Like that's the thing about like they join the middle class. They don't join the higher society or they don't join the working classes. They just meh. They are the doctors and engineers. They're the technicians of the empire, of the not the empire, sorry, they're the technicians of this shitty whatever global system we have. It's not an empire for sure. So they're just, yeah, they're just not really intellectually developed people. So their children are alienated because, and then they have this view of Islam or whatever their original culture is, and they become really hardcore in that. So they really love it.
Yeah, some do. I mean, I don't know about the scientific studies. I mean, if I was going to go off my
I'm just saying,
anecdotal experiences, it wouldn't be like
a
an
significant
overwhelming,
number.
but yeah.
It's a significant number. I don't know. I don't remember if it was overwhelming majority or whatever. I assume it's not, but it's a significant number. Well, Hindus in Indian background people, they are famously second generation, very conservative Tory voters. Yeah, it's just like you see the same with
and that's not
Iranians
necessarily a
abroad.
bad thing. I mean, we consider it being a bad thing, but hey, maybe it's a good thing being conservative.
I consider it a bad thing. I'm very clear on that, I think. But you know, it's just idiots, you know, genuine like technicians. There is nothing worse than a technician, I suppose, in a way. Just robots.
Okay, all right. Let's keep this.
Now that I've talked shit about like half of the world.
Yeah. Let's move on. What do you have for us next?
So yeah, you sent me let's start with this, a small one which was good. Let's just talk about something good. Jacobin did a good video on the elephant in the Zoom article by Ryan Grimm, Jen Packy, if I'm
that was great.
Yeah. And that was great. That was pretty good. Although I wish they.
Do you want to mention what they were talking about? Really, what were the points that they were making?
They were talking about the article that Ryan Grimm wrote about how a lot of progressive or let's say leftist, whatever institutions or organizations that are active for leftist causes, like you know, women's rights, black minority rights, and all these have been struggling with infighting, and especially like a lot of workers are sort of, you know, they police each other, they social justice warrior each other, I guess, that type of thing, and it's led to more infighting rather than the organization being able to actively pursue its goals. The Jacobin video, they argued that that's, while the article was very good, they wish there was more talk about how it's not just woke workers, it's woke workers and managers. And they also talk about how a lot of, I agree with that a lot of like grievances that are not related are sort of a smuggle through woke. For example, they said there is like, look at this company, it has like a lot of black people leaving it, while in fact in the company everybody is leaving. That would include black people too, but because they feel like they can't talk about just people leaving, but they can talk about black people living because it's a racial issue. So it's you know, it becomes a whole thing. And it's become more common to use woke language and that type of thing to achieve your goals. And I this is something I think you can just, and like this is something I think that's one of the things I found out as I grow older, was that most people are not angry or don't talk about the things they really want, or you know what I mean? Like it's always, truth is always been smuggled somehow. Like, you know, in my experience in workplace, people would be angry about their pay, and then they would shout at like the cleaner for not cleaning their table correctly. Or, you know, they again, they were upset about, for example, corona restrictions or lack of corona restrictions, and they would like be complaining about the bathroom policy or so, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, that was very interesting. And
no, that was a good point. And no, that was a good point. Nice little short video as well, the one that they posted, at least that we watched. And yeah, and there was just the overall argument that I guess you can say, if you believe in the causes of these organizations, not only in their causes, but like in the role that these organizations should play in advancing those causes. If you believe in that, it's kind of a sad thing because, a lot of them are wasting their time and resources in just not infighting, but just continually restructuring their inside in order to make sure that, they abide by the latest woke ideology instead of focusing on their mission. I put all those caveats because I could see you taking issue with like the organizations and the problems that they try to solve. That's why I said if you believe in those, then
all right. No. I would say I think it's to an extent though, it's a bit like it's who cares in the end, because I think this is a reflection of a general trend that everybody's realized that the game is over now, as in like there's no potential for a social movement or anything like that.
There is. I mean, there never was. It's not that there's more or less. There's just, I mean, it depends what you mean and like to what extent, like social movement.
No, there isn't.
For what? I mean, why was there more before? Fine, I'll accept that there isn't.
No.
But, so then there never was then.
Well, with the Bernie thing, there was a bit of a moment that there potentially could have a social movement could come out of it. Not only a social movement didn't come out of it, it killed whatever there was before it. So
maybe 10, 15, 20 years, 30, who knows?
Increasingly, people are becoming small dictators. Everybody's becoming a small dictators, trying to control the world around them because they can't control the world around them. So they just focus on nativity. What did he say when he said those people? Did he meant the people, blah, blah? Why did he say that to me like that? Is it because I'm a man and not a woman? Would he talk to me if I was a woman like that? I think that's just general trend that we're going to see because there is a lack of infrastructure globally or nationally for any real social change. So it's just going to be decline and more of this. Frankly, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, at the moment it definitely seems like it in different places.
For the next 50 years, I would say.
Yeah, definitely can't agree with you too much there. I mean, you never know. Sometimes things change so much faster than you would think. But yeah, definitely doesn't seem to be any indicators. I mean, sometimes just something, just the Bernie. Where did that come from? I mean, someone like RJ Escal kept on linking it to the Wall Street move, the Occupy Wall Street movement, which is interesting. But otherwise, I didn't quite see that. During the interview, it's so funny. He mentioned like the Occupy Wall Street a few times. I was like, oh yeah, Occupy. And then when I wanted to mention it, I was like, what was it called again? Was it just Wall Street or like what was it like? Occupy? I'd forgotten. I hadn't heard about that movement in like so long.
Yeah, man.
That was funny.
No, but then again, I wouldn't call Occupy or Bernie real social movements to begin with. So they were media movements, really, media campaigns. That's only where Occupy was not even that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Occupy, when you look at the legacy and everything left behind, it seems to be, even much smaller than the Bernie Sanders one. So I was a bit surprised with the amount of importance that RJ Esca perhaps gave to that a bit. I mean, I'm no expert on that movement or haven't studied it or looked at it closely, but just I was a bit surprised. I don't know what others think in the comment section.
It was, I mean, I was at a time, I went through a sort of a period that I was always this extremely cynical asshole, but there was a period where I was I was having a bit of positive views and all that. Like I was thinking maybe things could get better. And this was right before that. And I'm so happy because I was so dismissive, man. My friends were also, this is Occupy. That and Arab Spring. I am so happy about those things because I was so dismissive. I remember Arab Spring, all my housemates were like, this is so great. People are changing things. I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. There's going to be mass murder. And I was so right. I own that.
Hey. Once upon a time, you had good analysis, and before your agenda ruined everything.
Before my agenda. Before I know too much, and I hate too many people now. Just all hatred now.
Yeah, but no, fair enough with those.
Yeah, I was so, because they argue the people. I mean, you look at Jesus. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, Sam, let's move on to the Hill. What caught your attention there?
Nothing really, to be honest.
No.
That was the point of that was the point. I mean, look, it was just in my the last week though, it became clear to me that how just ridiculous it is to just watch that and expect anything other than news, as in like, okay, what happened with Republicans or what happened with Democrats or stuff, because again they are sickened by that Greek disease that this is a discussion of ideas, or and they, frankly, as Jared said, people are talking past each other, and frankly people don't seem to be grappling with real material. I mean the discussions were just frankly childish. I mean, in my view, it was just
so. And what about the stuff that we do here?
No, we try to provide fun. I hope.
Yeah.
I don't think we succeed, but like this is like we're trying. This is our first attempt at trying to learn how to make an entertaining program, and that's why actually I am openly saying this, that I'm genuinely trying to from next week include more cultural stuff, to actually like try to genuinely like read a bit more, or like watch some more documentaries or some shit, like genuine informative stuff. I'll get to how I came to this conclusion, but let's focus on the hill, since
and then tell me what would be like, okay, after that, tell me like what would be for you like the ideal like YouTube news channel kind of thing.
News?
Yeah.
Just
or like,
news?
Or like analysis? No analysis news.
Oh, Chapo Trap House. That's why I wanted to leave that till the end.
We'll get there. Honest. Okay, all right. Go ahead.
All right, Chapo Trap House. Just even though I disagree with them on a lot of things, there seem to be Hegelian and Frankfurt schoolish in a lot of their beliefs. I completely disagree with them, but they provide fucking food for thought, and they provide real analysis. There is a difference between that and whatever is going on the other channels. Jimmy Dore as well, even though I don't like his style a lot of times, especially now that Kurt Metzger is there, is really good. Jimmy Dore as well. But the rest are. So let's talk about the hill though.
Yeah.
This time you digressed. I didn't mean to digress. They had a couple of things. Let me check because I forget.
One was about the vaccine.
Which one was the one?
So the army, the Navy.
There was one radar. Kim had a radar about the fact that in the Navy, I believe, or was it National Guards?
National Guard.
Was it national? Okay, they are requiring people to get COVID vaccination, but a lot of them are quitting.
Yeah.
Some of them are not complying, so they're quitting. And you had Kim, which was very much thinking this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sympathetic to the people who don't want to get it and are being forced to resign or forced to kick out. Robbie was a bit more middle of the road. Was like, I believe that since it's a big issue, and since it's most people have to, he was a bit middle of the road. But I would assume he was more on the side of Kim on this matter from the tone.
But he understood a little bit that that I guess you tell the army to do these kind of things. I mean, he was more middle.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not too sure which part of Bree he agreed with, but he was more in the.
Bree was. I don't even think Bree necessarily disagreed here, but I think she was just playing the devil's advocate, as in like that
they're forced to take other vaccines.
Other vaccinations.
So what's the big deal here?
Medications.
But I mean, I think one thing you can say, okay, those ones maybe there's a reason, and this one there isn't the reason. That is kind of where the discussion argument comes in. And then Kim had some interesting knowledge and understanding actually of all the different vaccines and what they're for. And then she argued, why scientifically it's more justified to take these but not those. But then when I told you these things, you had some interesting commentary that you also made to me. So
yeah, I would add that first about the vaccine thing, I would just say that as a layman, as somebody who's I've never done natural sciences, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert or anything. I would just think as a layman, it makes much more sense to be suspicious of a new drug or a new vaccine than an old. So I don't think it's fair to compare, for example, vaccine for polio or measles to vaccine
for corona, just because even if you're the best researcher in the world and you carry out the best research in the world, there has only been 2 years since the vaccine is out, 3 years. So there hasn't been enough time to, frankly, like there may be side effects that no research could have shown, even the most well-intentioned, well-designed one. You know what I mean? Like, just that's my gut. Like I remember, and it was the same with corona. As soon as coronavirus came out, people were like, "They're saying this." I was like, "How do they know? Like it's been out for 2 days. How would they know any of this?" And it's just
the research that has come out so far. Shows that, you know, within certain age groups and, you know, for certain people, it can definitely bring down the severity of it, but it doesn't stop transmission. So that's one argument of, you know, why you should have it, why you should not. This scientifically so far, they show that doesn't stop transmission. And then the second one is like, okay, it brings down the severity of the disease. It seems like it's so far based on data we have. But is that the case also for like much younger people who are typically, you know, doing these kind of jobs? Does it have any effect on them, or on them it makes no difference? Although younger people can also get, you know, more severe types of COVID. There's of course,
if they have
that, but in general, you kind of
exactly.
Talking,
I mean, that's the good question I would have liked to know would have been whether flu shots every season are compulsory for military services, because that seemed to have an equivalent risk level to, for example, polio and measles. The thing is, even if the chance of getting them are lower, if you do get them, the severeness is so high that you might want to prevent them. So I would have liked to know that. But that one, to be honest, it wasn't that one. There was another one where they talk about, what is it that the one they talk about? I think, are you referring to my commentary about their presentation?
No, this was one of them where, like, you know, you brought this point, but I mean, that was the main one from the Hill this week that I was concerned with.
There was another one which they had a massive debate. I think, was that over gun control?
No, this one led to a massive debate.
Sorry?
This one led to a massive debate, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe it was. Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't.
Was there one with Olemi or no? And
no,
and with Kim.
No, I mean, there was one with Bree, and I think everybody on the comment section would have agreed that, frankly, she's just very rude as a, you know, co-host, I would say. Not that I'm much more of a polite person than she is, but it's just this condescension she has, and the way she talks over Robbie and Kim, and she raises her voice in a like, I'm not listening to you, and I'm, you know, I'm sorry, but yeah, the Hill sucks. Really sucks.
Pack the Court. Pack the Court was one though. But that's the one with Olemi. The thing they got into.
Oh, that one was that's even too stupid to even compact the courts. And what then? Like, then the day after Republicans will pack the courts. And then, I mean, it's as if Democrats had. Anyways, packing the court thing is not doable. Even if it was doable, it's not going to really help in the long term. Olaimi, Bree, I was just talking about the fact that Bree with Kim and Robbie, I remember we talked about that she's very obnoxious, I feel. She's extremely obnoxious, and she's coming across as such a calm person, Like, she's starting to remind me of, do you know Dan Pfeiffer, or is it Don Pfeiffer? I don't know. He's one of these Obama's.
Don Pfeiffer sounds more familiar.
He recently went on a fucking crusade against Facebook and how it's a problem for our democracy because Facebook is so popular. And she's reminding me of him in a way. Everything is put in a way that is, for a communication. Like, she's trying to, trick you into, oh, you see why I agree with me. For example, she has this radar about why do libertarians, conservatives want fewer rights? And it's about, there's abortion rights, really. It's about how all the rights from abortion is actually rooted in an amendment that is about privacy rights. And she clearly, like one commenter put it the best, so I'm just going to read that so I don't ramble on. The Emancipation Proclamation wasn't what granted Black people rights. It was the 13th and subsequent amendments. The proclamation only freed the slaves in select states, but otherwise did nothing about their actual legal status under decision like Dred Scott. So again, she's like completely in my view, misrepresenting the thing. We have another discussion about, for example, the same thing and about the abortion issue the next day. And Robbie is like, this is like Republicans delivering for their base. And she's like, are they delivering for their base? 65% of people in America believe that abortion to a certain period should be allowed, blah, blah, blah. 65% of people to 70% of people claim to care for Medicare for all. When there is no specific definition of Medicare for all, when there is no coherence, when there is no social structure, that doesn't mean anything. That's mean like, do you like ice cream? Yes, I do. Like that's all this is. Like as if these pollings are these communications from the will of the people to the brain of the to the brain of these calm people and experts and pundits. It's blood. I mean, it's bloody ridiculous. It's a mess. It's a mess. And yeah, it's just their arguments is so childish. And yeah, one is talking about packing the courts as if Democrats would ever do that, first of all. Second of all, even if they do that, Republicans would. The left is delusional. The ones that are, look, I'm on the left. Technically, I don't know. I agree with certain things, whatever. But they're delusional. Like at this point, in terms of power and leverage, they have nothing, and they're talking about like why they don't do that, why they don't pack the courts, why they don't legislate, why they don't. I mean, I'm surprised Biden has said he's going to try to codify privacy laws. Good luck with that. As if like the conservatives going to be like, oh, right, okay then, yeah.
No, I mean, this group of Democrats right now, all the way from like, you know, the Congress, Senate to the White House,
AOC,
they don't seem like they can do like anything that is like something big. Of course, I'm sure they're doing something on a daily basis, but anything huge like that, I really don't have any belief in them having any kind of capability. And that's if they want. Let's not forget who the Democrats are. But let's say, yeah, the Democrats do want to do something that the left kind of likes for some, you know, let's say their interests align on one thing or another. Their level of incompetence, I mean, this bunch is next level.
Yeah. And
I mean, you know, one vote brings all of them down. Sorry.
Oh, that I'm sure. No, we are talking about the. Just want to don't lose focus of the main thing, which is their vaporous and empty, frankly, commentary. Then you look at, for example, another example from same week. Did you see? We're going to talk about her, the lady who went on the January 6th committee and lied or said that Trump
had a journalist?
No.
Oh no.
No, she's I don't know, maybe she was a White House staff. She said that, you know, that when they were driving Mr. Trump to the Capitol and then they told him that they're gonna go back to the White House, he lunged at the driver and tried to take the wheels off. I mean, which is, by the way, fuck you, bullshit. The last time Trump lunged was like when he was 8 and he was having his first Happy Meal. He lunged for that. He hasn't lunged for anything.
From where? From the back of the limo? Or did she explain? Like, or was he sitting passenger side? He stopped the car. Stop it. She said,
yeah, that's the thing. It's clearly a lie. She said, I think limo, but it turned out to be SUV. It's so clearly a lie. But anyway, then, you know, then again, doing this weird, both sides. And, you know, I looked at her testimony. She sounded like somebody who was excited to work for the White House, but then had become disillusioned. I mean, what world do you live in if you're that,
excited to work for the White House, and then she became this? Okay, was she 12? If she was, okay, was she 19 when she got this job? I'll go as far as that. I don't know. Maybe this was an 8-year-old who got this internship. By the time she was
Straight out of kindergarten.
a lot of hope, wanted to change the world, coming out of
I
6th
swear to
grade.
God, the only one with reasonable, Kim and Robbie are better. Kim with her thing that she said, she says some weird, she says she agrees with Glenn Beck sometimes. I'm sorry, but that's a huge red flag. Robbie, again, is the only one who's present. Like, I don't get pissed off actively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe because he keeps a lot of his opinions to himself. Although,
Robbie has like 3 opinions that he can share on that show.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's smart though, because he did share one of his opinions. What was it?
I mean, on
Sharing
Israel and
really
Palestine, he
stupid.
was careful.
Oh,
he
that
only
was-
opened his mouth at the end, and then he was like, yeah, never
Very
mind.
few.
Next, we're gonna.
Next, Israel. I don't. No, what? No, it was something about companies, regulations. Something about regulating drug companies, I think, or something like that. It's just his takes are sometimes stupid, but yeah, he's not trying, it doesn't feel like he's trying to sell you a fucking car.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it. Bree's definitely, and I don't think she would disagree with that she's there to, I mean, a lot of people are, she's not unique in that, to sell their take and their position.
What do they think they happens? Like 1.5 million viewers of Hill all see, and all fooled by Bree's use of statistics to say that 65% of people are for abortion. What do you think is gonna happen? Like what? I mean, it's, I don't know. The thought that communication matters.
Yeah, can't disagree with you there, and I really appreciate you put all these criticisms and everything, and you kept your cool.
Did I?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I already lost my cool with all the immigrants in the world. So
Forgot about that. But
So I
yeah,
feel
the
like
rising. But man,
this
some of
time-
the back and forths between them are like, Kim is so good at keeping her cool. Robbie's
Kim is so
decent.
good.
Bree
I would have-
shows it
yeah.
a lot. Bree shows it a lot. And
Robbie
like
is so
you
good
and me
too.
though, like we like you and I, we like argue about something. Then as soon as we stop, we just like we're like cool. We like move on or something, right? And I'm sure they do the same. But do you think it's reaching a point where there's like, or do you think they're
think it
all
is.
like cool and really good friends as soon as the cameras stop rolling?
Frankly, if I was Robbie, I would go up to Brie and say, "Can you stop interrupting?" Because it's really rude. Like, you don't raise your. It's a very condescending, patronizing thing that a lot of people do. That like you're talking and then they just ignore your point. No, but what I am talking about is actually, and they raise their voice in a way, and you're like, well, I'm not sorry. Are you more valid? Your presence is more valid in discussion than mine. It's so rude. It's so condescending. I'm frankly, I would have loved to be on the Hill panel just for that, because I'm such an asshole to these people. I start being such a dick to these people. A couple of times that has happened when they try to do that, and I just start making funny noises. Sometimes I start talking over them. I get really rude. I hate condescension. Is the worst. People who are condescending. I love, man, sorry, I was gonna, I'm reminded of some good memories.
Popped it. But yeah, if they want to do that, if they want to interrupt each other, come on this show. We will teach you how to interrupt. You won't be able to say hi without me interrupting you.
Again, interrupting is not wrong, because sometimes it happens by accident. But when you do that on purpose, ignore, you're putting them like that. Okay, and now I'm talking about real. But what I am saying is that why the discussion isn't, why the discussion isn't about that, I don't know. But we are discussing this right now. Do you want to talk about this, or do you want to have your own personal discussion with the wall? Jesus.
Jeez,
very condescending. Very condescending.
Yeah.
No,
I have to agree with you. I honestly agree with you. That's the feeling I get from watching it. It's nothing more than like a feeling that, like an impression that you get. So I don't have any data to back it up. I could bring a video clip, but I'm not alone.
I know this is like a show and for public, but I feel like the way we present it or whatever, it's like a private space in a sense that I wouldn't say the shit I say. I mean, most of it is joke, but I wouldn't do this type of thing in a,
Yeah.
professional setting with my coworker. And maybe the Hill is trying to pivot to a more, I don't know,
I don't think so.
more like relaxed.
And
So
they
it's just,
shouldn't, because they
again,
have a good niche there. They have no competition, so they shouldn't really move to something more relaxed, I would say.
yeah, but even in that more relaxed thing, condescension is very rude. And especially when, yeah, anyway, let's
enough.
go to the next topic.
Okay, Sam, let's continue with a few more progressive stories. So this next one, the Vanguard and gun control, perhaps I won't have much to say, or maybe I will, but more importantly, I definitely wanted to play two hilarious clips involving Sam, Seder, and Vaush. Vaush was his name, yeah. So let's watch those two clips, and then we'll come back and add some stuff. They're worth it just on their own. Vaush is kind of explaining why he thinks that people should have guns for protection, but he's talking about protection against like racist gangs kind of thing. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Time I was personally anti-gun ownership for the typical reasons. That was based on an assumption we lived in a somewhat civilized society. It's clearly not the case anymore, and I strongly advocate from those from marginalized groups to arm themselves quickly while they still can. Not for protection against the government, but for protection against your conservative neighbors who the government will no longer protect you from. Fascism is here. I mean, the only problem with that calculation is there's no reason to believe that arming yourself from your conservative neighbors is going to be any more successful than arming yourself from home invaders. The bottom line is you put a gun in your house, someone in your house is more likely to die. That's just
also
statistics.
If you get killed and you got to
I don't think that follows logically. The reason why home invaders are like the reason why having a gun in your house to defend against a home invader is really like dumb and generally ineffective, unless there's some specific knowledge that you have, is that home invasions happen suddenly and randomly by people who enter your house, usually prepared to kill you or believing that you're not in the house. The circumstances of a home invasion are such that like the idea of arming to prepare yourself against it is kind of like dumb. It's like concealed carrying in case you get in like a mass shooting or whatever. It's the odds of it happening are so unlikely and such. The difference is with a big conservative uprising or like fascist marauders or militias in your area, that's something that you would have warning on, you know? Like if things fell apart, remember BLM? When like the fucking red hats start driving around in trucks in your neighborhood, that's not like a split second, it happens like instant thing, you know? Like this is something you'd see it like unfolding on the news, you would hear reports of it. Like it would like if it happened, it would happen gradually from outside the city, like moving inwards towards. You have time to prepare, and you would also be able to identify people when they're outside the house. It's not just like your conservative neighbor breaks into your house personally. It's like your neighborhood is defending itself against like. But you get what I mean, though. That's the difference, right? That assumes community organization. Even if you're just one person, like having one person in a neighborhood. Vaush, I think you're massively overestimating how much most people track events. What? If there was a big fascist uprising or the government fell apart due to a constitutional crisis and like far-right militias started moving into cities, people would be aware of it, you know? Don't get me wrong, political apathy is strong in this country, but not not to that point. I thought you said that doesn't follow. No, the fact that having a gun in your house increases the likelihood of homicide or suicide does follow. That's not what I was referring to. I don't think there's a strong parallel between defending yourself against a home invader or defending yourself against a fascist uprising.
I do think he means a
think so,
post-government fascist uprising. I think that might be what he's implying here. In which case, it's like, well, Jesus Christ. But then I feel like you have to put everything on the table, right? Then it becomes like war, basically. Then you're just like having a literal civil war. And if you're having a literal civil war, then you obviously have to defeat the fascists that are trying to fucking kill people based off of like, you know, their skin color or, you know, ideology or something. I don't fucking know.
I think those are different like situations. I know people who are that blind to current events. Okay, well then they're not the people who would be defending their neighborhood. When you said get to know your neighbors, what do you mean exactly? Get to know your neighbors. That used to be a thing people did normally, you know, before the internet. Like if you live in some gay ass part of town, for example, it's not exactly difficult to casually talk like, hey, things are scary lately, da-di-da, you know, just a brief cursory. What you want in a neighborhood is some mutual trust. Mutual trust is like the glue that will hold people together in difficult situations. If things fall apart, mutual trust is the difference between neighbors fleeing if there's conflict or neighbors asking you if you're okay before fleeing. You understand? That difference can mean the world. If one person has food, water, firearms, or ammunition and the other doesn't, that short conversation, that brief acknowledgement of the neighbor can be all it takes to secure both people's well-being. All it takes is a little bit of trust. Know their names, you know? Make them some cookies. Like, just do a little anything, you know?
All right, so we listened to that. So Sam, I don't know what you made of the whole, both the Vanguard's commentary and what Vaush was saying, because first Vaush says he's against guns at home because he's like, no, that won't help you because, you know, the scenario, you never know and all this, when it's going to happen. But then when it comes to like, you know, he's like neighborhood community, when you see these gangs coming from far, you need to protect yourself. And then the Vanguard guys, if I understood them correctly, they're kind of like the Vanguard boys. They're like, I think even Zach, he agreed, especially Gavin, he was like, yeah, I think anybody should be in a position to protect themselves with a gun from a racist bigot. And I was like, sure, but like in practicality, so we're talking about open carry across the country, right? Is that what you're talking about? But just in general, my point is this. These scenarios are so funny. I mean, if someone is getting guns to protect themselves, I would also start like stocking up on like pickled eggs and things like this, because it means that we're going into like a civil war or like, you know, doomsday. So I mean, I would be buying cans of food. And this made me, sorry, one last point. This made me respect a little bit those crazy people who go full out crazy. So they get guns, they get hiding spots, they get food, because at least their entire narrative makes sense.
Oh, I am saving up for that. I am definitely one of those great. I am saving up to get a house somewhere very remote with a bunker and have a lot of canned food and stuff.
Pickled eggs. Don't forget about pickled eggs.
No, I'm what?
Pickled eggs, I've seen it. They get pickled eggs, okay? You want to
pickle eggs. No, you can get canned food.
No.
I'm not getting pickled eggs. So I hate, but there's nothing worse than pickled eggs.
Get pickled eggs. I've never had a pickled egg because I've been vegan since I found out about pickled eggs, but I think it's key for survival. If I were you, I would get some pickled eggs, but hey, to each their own.
It's alcohol, but that's for my survival is alcohol and enough tobacco.
What about the pickled eggs though on the side? No. Doesn't entice you?
Thank you, and not at all.
What about the tank top that Vaush had? Do you think that's also needed to survive?
That's okay. No, we get there. Wait a minute. Fucking Vaush is saying that he's wearing a fucking.
Sorry about that. Little bit headphone problems. So yeah, the goddamn Vaush. I mean, look, man. I'll get to my main point because you kind. But
that was the stupidest clip I've ever seen.
This is the stupidest clip I've ever seen. Like this was the motherfucker is waving a wife beater. And not only is wearing a wife beater, he has to show us every fucking single hair on his armpit because he's got such attractive body. I mean, Jesus Christ, for God's sake, are there people have no shame anymore? Like I don't have a very good body, but I am certainly ashamed of it. There should be more body shaming going around. I mean, like, at least if you're going to wear a wife beater and did this the whole time.
Yeah, why was he doing that?
Fucking armpits. Because that's cool for the kids, I guess. I don't know. But the second thing is, these people live in a fantasy. He's talking about, you know, in a scenario when I don't believe in guns at home, because that's like a scenario that you know, walk into a mass shooting. But in a situation when there is a fascist uprising, you idiot. Do you think fascist uprising like happen streets by streets? Like, do you think
go talk to your neighbors, Sam? Go talk to your neighbors. What happened to talking to their neighbors
before the internet? I remember, by the way,
people now still talk to their neighbors if they live in rural area. If the kids still talk, I'm sure in suburbs talk to their neighbors. But yeah, when you move to, I don't know, a big city and you move into an apartment building for a year and a half before you move to your next place, I think this has been going on for a long time. People don't know their neighbors so much. I don't know if it's so much of a recent phenomenon. I'm pretty
I
sure
remember my
when I have
grandfather
kids, my kids will go play with other kids on the street. I mean, I don't know. I'm a bit.
Old people used to complain about since TV has come, people don't pay attention to their family and community. Oh, since radio has come. Oh, since book is destroying our youth's brain. This fucking bullshit about
Yeah.
like, oh, people are not visiting their neighbors.
They are. You don't see them.
You see, man, these
there are
people
all
are
kinds
just.
of people.
These people are just like the conservatives they pretend they don't like. They live in a fantasy land that people used to be good and
Yeah.
happy and hold hands and Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
And then they fantasize about a fascist uprising.
Yeah.
What should we do? Should I practice Krav Maga for
Yeah.
the fascist uprising, or Taekwondo
And
gives
then
me
listen,
better advantages in the uprising?
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
hold on. I love this. One of the funnier things he says, it's fine. Go talk to your neighbor and like go to your neighbor and be like, stuff isn't looking good nowadays, right? He says shit's not looking good, something like that, you know. But yeah, what should we do? And then it's like, you know, even if there's just one guy in your community with a gun, like, what are you shooting away like wolves or something if they're coming? What is going on? One guy with a gun.
Well, these idiots, as you said, the food and energy supply would be far more important than gun supply in
You
such
can
a
keep
scenario.
your one gun. I'm sure I can get my hands on a gun once the
Well,
time comes
I don't
and
know
there's a
about
civil
that.
war. I'm pretty sure it will be flooded with guns everywhere.
No,
by then.
I mean, the idea, yeah, exactly. There is a fascist uprising, and your first priority, guys, how do I get the gun to protect? Like, everybody will be trying to get the fuck out. You're insane. Oh, God damn
They're
it.
coming in
but
your
then-
street, you're seeing them, you're watching them from out there. Okay, they're about 45 minutes away now. They're crossing the highway.
Takes the sniper. These
Oh, they're
people-
behind the red light
that's-
right now. Yeah, no, it's also traffic hour. Okay. Given the fact that it's rush hour, by the time they get here, it'll be around 7 o'clock. Let's be ready for that. What was that scenario?
You know,
What was he talking about? All I could think of were pickled eggs. And tuna and sardines. You have to get this kind of stuff you get.
tuna,
Kidney beans.
sardine,
Kidney
cheese.
beans are good
You-
too. Kidney.
Well, everything
pasta, of course.
disgusting. What
That's
are
what
trying
they
to
do.
create
I
the
don't know
most
what it-
disgusting fart ever. Pickled eggs and
Listen,
tuna. And
I didn't come up with
sardines.
survival kits and survival methods, but based on what I've
Survival kit
seen,
reference.
pickled foods and like tuna are like central to the whole thing. There's usually one person
Can't.
whose just
Again, I
job is to get
can't
pickled stuff.
pickle.
Sorry, I'll stop
man,
making this
these are
joke.
people-
It's just too funny, man. It's just too funny. The
No, it's-
scenarios.
I would say did you ever watch Walking Dead, the show about
I know I
zombies?
didn't watch it, but I know exactly.
It was pretty shit after season 1 or even 2. But Walking Dead, you know, in the middle of that, I realized that it's a apocalypse, dystopia, all of that is a fantasy, you know, and a lot of people love that fantasy, you know,
Yeah.
that society will collapse and we'll do this, and then we get
Mm.
together again. It's all. It's not going to collapse. It's going to be just as shitty, just maybe a little bit worse or better.
Yeah,
And it's
100%.
going to be the same mundane bullshit that is all. So yeah, but my main point was that you sent me that video. I was watching that video, and that's the moments where following all the hill videos, I was just like, this is what am I
No,
doing
this
with
is
my
different.
life?
This one was no. This
I'm
one was a
watching.
pure piece of entertainment. This don't you dare diss this video and put it in the other category. This was gold. And when he differentiated between getting attacked at home and with a gang of racist people, that was just the best distinction I've ever heard anybody. I was like, there's some truth in there. I must say.
No, but okay, from my perspective, it was me watching Vanguard boys commenting on Vaush, commenting on Sam Seder. Like the level of stupidity of the I mean, the video should have come with a warning: too much IQ, warning. I mean, and then the Vanguard guys, they're like, yeah, you know, I don't know, in 16 to 25, your brain is not developed enough to come in.
No, but you know what I've also come to realize?
The level of commentary on each, like, it was like reverse inception. It was like you don't go deeper into a brain. You go to a shallower level.
Yeah.
Shallower level.
And
but
when it
Vaush
comes
was
to
worse.
gun control, for some reason, because Gavin is, less into gun control, but Zach is more. Zach kind of treats him
Gavin
as a
is pulling Zach's
expert. Just because he's in the opposing side of you doesn't make him an expert. He's like, but I really want to hear what you have to say. Just because you guys don't agree doesn't mean that he has
No,
some kind of hidden knowledge about this.
I'm
really.
pretty sure Zach is pulling Gavin's leg though, because like sometimes you do with me, to be honest. Because Zach is like, man, if people want to kill themselves,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's okay. And he's just smiling. He's like, and then Gavin is like, look, I believe in freedom of choice, but shit.
That was so funny.
That was so. And Zach's like, what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do?
No, then Gavin pulled out a good talking point.
Yeah,
He was like, no, they should talk to their doctors, whatever they decide with their doctors.
Zach basically fucked up in response. So Gavin himself was like, no, I'm thinking of it now. I think it should be,
But
so funny.
but also they kept on saying, like, you heard them say, like, you should be able
Why
to
are they talking about
protect
what?
yourself against bigots and racist people. And I'm like, sure, but where does the gun thing come in?
you
Like,
shouldn't.
how do you protect yourself even? Like, I mean, I'm all for it,
No,
but
you
I don't even
shouldn't.
say how.
You shouldn't be able to protect yourself necessarily. A state should.
Yeah,
That's
the state,
the fucking point of a state.
Yeah, that's one
why
way of protecting yourself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
but
I'm so angry at myself for having the previous gun take, because that's their primary
Yeah.
responsibility. If there is racists coming around, that's state. There has been a state failure at
Violent
a grand
racist,
scale.
coming to your neighborhood. No, the neighborhood thing. By the way, I witnessed a fight the other day, right in front of me in the car, and it was good that there were no knives or guns
No,
involved.
what
Yeah,
happened? You were in the car and you saw.
Yeah, and one was a younger guy, one older guy, and they both got into fighting stance, and they both got into southpaw fighting stance. I don't know why they were both. What is going on?
The
And
southpaw lefties.
they call it
left-handed
southpaw. Yeah.
people.
So I was like, what are the odds? What are the chances? What's going on here? And then the older guy actually landed one punch, and the younger guy, he fell.
Oh,
But it was a very wholesome fight. We didn't get there in the beginning. We got there minutes late. I think
was
one
a family friendly.
I think the
PG-13.
car was blocking or one way around, or the pedestrian was crossing when there was in a red light, something like that. So I think that led to either the pedestrian hitting the car, like with his hand, or that guy beeping, something like that. So it was one guy in a car and one pedestrian. That's how it started.
So
And
much
then-
for the civilized Swiss. Huh? I've never seen a fight.
Hey, I've
in
never
Tehran.
said these things. But yeah, and it made just me think, if there was a knife, that could have possibly escalated for no reason, and if there was a gun, fights can get escalated in many other ways, but weapons are one huge way of escalating a fight.
I genuinely don't think weapons are that. I don't think gun control would, to be honest, reduce gun. That's why I guess.
No, but I'm saying if there were
I had that-
widespread guns, if there were guns and the guy would pull out a gun out of his trunk or a knife. Now, in one situation, that might save his
What
life.
is that thing?
but
What is
in
that
one-
thing
Those
they used to-
batons, yeah.
No, they used to lock the wheel of a car.
yeah.
What is that called? Wheel lock? I don't.
Yeah, although you'd have to probably go to like secondhand store to find one of those nowadays.
Oh, really? They don't do them anymore?
Old cars, some people put it, but I don't see it
okay.
much.
Well,
yeah,
I see it a lot, and
people
you know,
grab
you
that
could
for
kill-
fighting. Yeah.
yeah, people used to grab that for fighting.
I mean,
so,
listen, you can
um,
kill someone with your bare hands.
You can drive over them. to be
Yeah.
honest, if you really.
But it was one of those disturbing fights, and it didn't reach the point where, because sometimes people are fighting and I don't know, this other noise and voice starts coming out of them that you never heard. I don't know, it's like so insanely deep, and they're like screaming and like saying the worst things to each other. But like these two just right away got into their stance. They were circling, waiting for the first person to throw the punch, and then boom. But yeah.
Did,
that's that,
the
yeah.
guy did the old guy win basically?
Yeah, but then another old guy got out from the van behind and separated them a bit. And then there was this biker who like slowly walked over to in case he needed to separate it when it was over. I missed the light.
no-
We were like so intrigued. The light turned
hospitalization?
green. No, I'm telling you, it was like if there's a fight, that's
Family
how
fight.
you want to fight too, you know. Although there were punches and stuff exchanged, but you see fights where they don't throw punches that are more disturbing. Like, I don't know, like the way they scream or throw something or just act like really weird. No, this one was very just like a
Family
moment
friendly.
of misunderstanding over a red light. or
Being
something.
professional as well.
You should have seen it. It was-
I got you. Okay, let's go. Well done to you.
Yeah. And the fact that it was the old guy who didn't get punched made it seem even like, I don't know, because sometimes like an
What
older
is with
guy
old man is
beating a
strength, by
younger
the way?
guy, it's like, yeah, fine. I don't know. That's the thing,
I
though,
really
apparently. I
don't
don't know where that
understand, but
comes.
every
It's
time
a
I've
thing.
seen like a 50-year-old and a 30-year-old go at it, it's like always the 50-year-old beats the shit out.
Yes, this is one of Yeah, I don't know. There's something to that. Yeah. But yeah, Vanguard, I mean, Vaush just outdid everyone. You don't even remember what Sam Seder says because Sam Seder makes like a
I don't.
statement / like question, and then that's
By
all
the
you
way,
hear.
I know this is me going full on, institutional mad, but do you think they may have watched their two stupid sketches about them? Because I swear to
The
God, man,
Majority Report?
I went to watch some of their videos just for sketches and shit, and they started editing Sam's ass out. I swear to God, man, in the beginning,
Man,
there were a
that's
couple
time
of times that
consuming. Jesus.
yeah, I swear to God, they edited them out. So I don't know if it had an effect on the producer or somebody told them. I think so. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
am the
how
sensitive
long does his ears have to be that you edited?
I swear to I felt like they were because he was talking and like there was an edit in the
Yeah.
middle of sentence. So I felt like there were that was edited out. So,
Or maybe they endorsed
uh,
someone or they edited out. Whatever happened to Nomiki? We need to follow up on that. Did
No,
she make
she's-
it on the ballot? That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
good.
she's
Yeah.
got she's
The community showed up.
they come in the 3,000 people signed up for Nomoki. She's gonna bring the Greek culture back to the forefront of it.
Aye, aye. And what about Chapo Trap House? Anything you want to discuss there?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would highly recommend everybody listen to their episode about Roe versus Wade and compare their take with everybody else's and their solutions for what at this point could or should be done. And I think there's like I would agree with at this point, like the only thing that you can do is harass Democrats to see how much you can get from them. But not that you have much leverage, to be honest.
Man, and right now they're in such a bad position. I mean, even for
Who?
them, it seems like it, the Democrats. So even if you pressure
they
them to
can.
do something, can they even do something? Just
They
promise.
could. I mean, look, if
Can
they
they? It really
weren't-
seems like they literally can't do
That's
anything.
the thing. No, that's what Chapo guys kind of in a way say too. At least one. I agree with like that's the thing. We don't know, but we could test to see what's the most they
Yeah.
could do. But yeah, they don't like. I think I would. Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, I don't think they could do much really. Even I mean, they have all the power, but when like they have the legislature and the executive, but first of all, they don't have the judiciary, and in the U.S. judiciary is supreme, and they. I mean, I can't see how. Let's say they even codify Roe versus Wade, which is what Biden said. First of all, from what I know, Supreme Court could overturn that as well. Easy.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, I remember with Obamacare went to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court has like that's what I'm saying. The judicial powers are what needs to be reined in. That's the real issue here. But yeah, Supreme Court can repeal that too. They could, they might not.
Yeah.
Besides that, you codify Roe versus Wade. What do you think is going to happen when you have a Republican legislature and then a Republican president in 2 years, and for the next probably 20 years? The cat is out of the bag now. I think the Christian right is going to come for everything. I think at this point, really, people just, it's over. It's kind of like, I'm sorry to say this, I always say this, but
It's kind of like the Palestinian cause. Palestinian cause has been lost for the at least last 20 years. People keep pretending that it's alive, but they should have been looked for alternative to Palestinian statehood since at least 20 years ago. There should have been looked for alternatives for those people, because Israel had made its intentions clear. So if you want those people, the actual people, to live a good life and don't care too much about the land, you have to, at this point. So I feel like left is, it's over. Like, and I would like, I would say, just I'm gonna try to keep my YouTube like American news listening to really The Hill and Chapo Trap House maybe, and The Hill mostly for news, but try to reduce that too.
Feel you, and I really can't disagree with what you were saying there too much, to be honest. So if anybody in
Did
the
you listen to
comment
the
section,
Roe versus Wade?
I don't know anymore.
No, all right.
Perhaps.
It was very good. And like they had their other episode was an interview with a guy who did a book about
the
Nixon
Chapo
and
Trap
FBI.
House. Yeah. Oh,
Chapo.
sorry, I thought you meant the Rising. If there's no.
No.
I listened to the interview with the CIA about the CIA. That one was short. I thought it was one of those 1 hour ones. I was just starting to get into it, but the clip finished after 16 minutes.
Oh no,
but
yeah,
watch...
I could send you the follow-up clips.
Yeah, I mean, I could have looked for it myself.
But
the other one, I'm not too sure if I watched.
Like, just genuinely compare the way they talk about Nixon administration and what happened there with other people, the way they talk about Watergate scandal. They talk about Nixon. They talk about all of that. They are like, I'm sorry, but the rest are jokes. The rest, they still believe in a fantasy that, for example, there was a bad president and there was good journalists that contacted by a good man from this FBI who told them, deep throat. And these are children. I'm sorry, but this is like, and I'm so glad I found the Chapo Trap House. Like, I don't need to, I need to control my diet of basically news. It's just making me more resentful, I guess.
Well, I'm very happy
I don't know how
for you,
I can be
and
more
I support your decision.
Do you follow me, my decision? Are you going to stop watching Breaking Points or not?
I don't.
Are you going to continue with this nonsense?
On a few points, I have to. I can't help myself, but
I guess. Sometimes they cover something nobody else covers. So you're like, fuck.
What happened to them extending their platform and stuff? Did that Matt guy start showing up there, or that Brie interview put an end to him?
He had another 2 weeks ago. He appeared again doing some Matt Stoll or something. Yeah, Ryan Grimm and loads of other bullshit people from Intercept are trying to. David Sirota is doing the lever, and I must say I'm subscribing from fucking the stops. Like, I know I subscribe for their fucking thing, news, whatever, but it's just they send too many emails and too many. The lever. It's the Daily Poster, former Daily Poster, David Sorota's newsletter website, whatever it is. It's just so many such bullshit. Like, I don't care about a lot of those. It's not that they're bullshit. I don't care about. So I unsubscribed from that newsletter, whatever. But no, they are doing Breaking Points is literally doing what it's saying. It's trying to build a new mainstream, and I cannot think of anything worse. But they are trying it.
All right, Sam, let's move on. That was kind of fun segment. You were very controlled. I'm very impressed. I don't know what's going on. I'm slightly concerned, but anyway, let's move on to a bit more democratic.
Or are you being sarcastic? No, because I thought I'm not in control today.
No, you are. After the whole immigration bump that we had.
Controversy.
Where I had to try to do some damage control live while not being too sure what you're talking about. So I wasn't even sure what I was trying to prevent. But I was like, I don't know where this is going. We need to put an end to this.
He's gonna come out against the whole humanity again. He did it. All right.
But speaking of humanity, what's this new Hunter Biden new audio? I'm not too into that story, to be completely frank, so I didn't even listen what the new audio says. What does it say? He was sent to Ukraine to.
Oh no, there's a new audio of Joe Biden talking to
Oh
him
yeah,
on the
yeah,
phone,
yeah, exactly.
telling
Yeah,
him
yeah.
he's clear from the New York Times and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Kind of, look, you can say he might have meant it in a not like it. It's not definitely. It's not a smoking gun for sure. It could be interpreted in many different ways. But I just love the fact that there is so much data on these guys out, and the best part of the video, the tape, is Biden at the end. Guess what? How he says bye to his
I
son.
love you, son.
I love you, son. He's 55 years old. And you know, like he's like, what is going on? Like, my dad has never told me I love you, son.
But
I
the
don't
word
think.
"I
It's
love
just
you"
so weird.
comes out much more easily, I've realized, in English, it seems, than in Farsi.
That's
Like,
true.
you know, now it's the thing where like people who've been friends for like 2 to 3 years, just like two random guys, friends 2-3 years. He's like, "Hey, I love you, man." I was like, that's such a weird word to come out of your mouth. Like, I still struggle with it, but yeah. So maybe it has to do something with that. That yeah, I've never heard my
That
dad
might
say
have
it
to
either.
do with our
That's really-
personality. But
That's
yeah,
really
I
weird.
know. I mean, to be honest, I always found it. I don't know if it's the case. I haven't done a study on it. I don't have statistics, but I found it more. Americans tend to be a bit more friendly and congealed. And like, if you're British or if you're European, you don't say
Yeah.
"I love you" as
Like Joe
much, I
Rogan,
think.
he sees like he's seen a guest twice, gives him a hug. "I love you, man. Like where
Yeah,
you've been."
hug,
He loves he
that's-
loves saying "I love
I'm
you." He's
sorry.
like, "I
That's
love
the
this
thing.
guy. I love this guy. He's
I
my
have
bro-
a-
I love him."
Man, I have a American cousin, cousin who's second generation, whatever, and he loves giving hugs and stuff. And but because of Corona, I was so happy because I was like, oh,
But listen,
so
Sam,
he
hold
was
on.
still coming for it.
Hold
huh?
on. Did you say your cousin is second generation
What do you mean? Yeah.
immigrant?
Yes.
So is it safe to assume that he's a religious fanatic?
No. It's not safe.
Sorry for that.
I didn't say they are religious fanatics. I said they tend to be more conservative. He's actually very progressive, to be fair. So no, there are exceptions. Iranians
Sorry.
are the only amazing. I wasn't talking about.
I think
you
this
or
is
my
one
second
bit
cousin.
of Iranian exceptionalism that I agree with.
I must say, it's not really. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this because I'm gonna come across as such a bad person. So, anyways, but let's talk about Hunter. But yeah, I love. I would agree in English. In Persian, though, they say a lot of. I've heard that recently, hanging out with other families who are not as resentful and hateful as ours, is that they say a lot of "my love" to each other when they call each other.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
"My love, can you come here?"
Yeah.
Like kind of like the British "love, can you come here?" Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They say "eshkam" a lot.
Or like
But-
my dear, that's like very common to like anyone.
As
anywhere.
my dear
Yeah.
is very common, but love is
Yeah.
I love you. I don't think there is an equivalent in Persian.
And there's Duset Daram, which is not even that powerful. It's more Asharatam, which is just too much. So
I
there
love-
isn't the perfect word anyway. Yeah, because Duset Daram means I like you.
I like
technically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Dost is
Asharatam is
friend.
like I'm in love with you. So like that's a bit too much. Even
Yeah,
Joe
it's
might
nice.
not say that to,
Yeah,
to
I'm
someone
in
who's
love
been on
with-
his show.
Yeah. I know it's a bit weird, so maybe that's a cultural hang up then.
Yeah.
But I found it so funny that it's like
But he loves his
70-year-old president talking to a son who is a crack addict and a sex addict and all that. And "I love you, son. You're on the clear. Bye bye, buddy. Do you want me to call you to sing you a lullaby before you go to bed?"
Yeah, I guess that's why some people say, Biden's he's a good loving guy.
He's a lovely guy, it seems, genuinely
his
in person.
professional work.
Yeah, he's just awful. Yeah,
He should just retire, then he'll be a good guy. But the professional side of his work.
Yeah, he's somebody who exactly. If he wasn't in politics, he was mechanical. He would have been a lovely guy. Like he would have been. He would have done some extra shit to charge you extra money, but he would have.
Would he have?
delivered
You
the-
think so?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, come
I
on,
don't
he's
know.
dirty. Yeah.
I don't know if he's like, yeah.
His son,
I-
he would have put his sons to work, and they would fuck up your
Yeah,
car,
they
but
would,
he
but-
would cover it up.
That's the thing. I don't think he would reach. I don't think he'd be manager or owner level. I mean, I know he's
Oh,
reached
no,
high in
no, no.
politics. I could see him more being employee because he's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he would become manager after the company goes bankrupt and they want to put this
Yeah.
fall guy there to go to prison. Then he would become the manager for a short while,
Yeah.
and then he's taken to the jail for the checks he
know.
didn't write. So yeah, that's.
Get him on tape to
Oh,
say
come
that.
on, man. What do you mean? I just became the president of the company. I had no idea they were smuggling money. What? No, man. Come on, man. Oh, Jill. Jill, you knew this. Jill, you knew about this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Hunter Biden's new audio was out. That's funny. I thought I mentioned that.
Thank you for that.
That's so funny that MTG versus AOC, and that's like, I'm trying to connect this to personal life because that's all politics matters now. Like, so I always thought I prefer a slightly crazy people to phony people, and not that the MTG is a slightly crazy, she's full blown mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, like straight jacket level. But I prefer these people to phonies like AOC. Like, especially with the Roe versus Wade, you see just how much of a phony piece of shit she is.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
what a phony piece of shit. Like, and then it's still some people on the left giving her some credit. I have to, on this matter, say, she has some. What was it? Oh my God, that's the thing I forgot about the Hill. Bree said we have to distinguish between somebody who has a world view on human rights
that
and
was
somebody
insane.
who just said some
I can't believe we
tweet.
forgot to.
Oh my God, I forgot. Oh my God. Somebody who has a world view. Her world view is, how do I get into the Met Gala? That is her world view. How do I weasel my way? What a pathetic Novorish. I mean, she knows, by the way, that AOC will never be part of the true elite. They'll spit at her before they let her into one of their.
I don't know that.
meetings.
I think
No,
over
she
time
won't.
she could, because she's
I know.
useful. I think she could, and she started
She would.
very young. By the
And
time
Nancy
she's
Pelosi-
50s and stuff.
They barely allow Nancy Pelosi and people like that in.
Yeah.
You have
But
to be a
she could reach
Republican
that,
really
though.
to. I can't see it. She's too pathetic. She's too much
She's really
of a.
no, she definitely is. I don't disagree, but very
become
useful
a
to have someone
true-
like that.
It's useful to have someone
From
like
New
that.
York?
But these people are, they're cannon fodder. They're nothing. They are the puppets. The puppeteers don't reduce themselves to these things.
I mean,
It's
AOC
so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Her presence at that Roe versus Wade protest, and the other lady being so happy she's seen a celebrity.
Yeah, I know,
And
I
the
know.
celebrity gets to talk on the microphone too. Oh yeah, you're so powerful. Why don't you use your position as a congresswoman?
Yeah,
you
I know. I
fucking
could do
asshole?
that.
Yeah, any asshole could go and shout. It's not that difficult.
Fine, do that on the side too if you really want. Fine, but yeah. I know,
yeah.
and the lady was so happy. It's
Yeah,
AOC,
yeah,
got
but
AOC to
come
come
here,
to that.
Yeah, come here, but remember, AOC has a world view
Yeah,
and has a understanding of the structures of power, unlike MTG. Yeah, she said that's the thing. Robbie and Kim said they are both broken clocks.
yeah.
Bree said that no, I would distinguish between somebody who has a worldview and somebody who's a broken clock or something. Yeah, AOC is not a broken clock. I mean, it was pathetic. It was the most pathetic defense
No, yeah.
of a elected. I mean, I've seen worse on CNN and MSNBC, but I'm not really comparing it to propaganda rags like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, AOC has a word view or
No,
has
that was hilarious.
her word view is how do I get more Instagram likes? I mean, I hate Megyn Kelly as well for a long time. Megyn Kelly, you know who she is?
Yeah.
The Fox News host.
Yeah, she
But I
switched to
think she's-
MSNBC or something, and then
Yeah, and then she has her own podcast and stuff. She's close to actually Glenn Greenwald apparently for some reason. But anyway, I think she put it this way perfectly. I hate to agree with her because she used to be a race baiter on Fox News back in the days. But she completely put it right. AOC is just like Kardashians. That's That's her world view.
Mm.
You know, she's a wannabe. She's not even a Kardashian. Kudos. I said Kardashians are, you know, boring television for me, but they provide entertainment.
Yeah.
This leech, this parasite is just somebody who is just weaseled her way into a program that people are forced to watch because their lives, sometimes they think their lives depend on it. What a weasel. Full respect to Marjorie Taylor Greene for calling this piece of shit out. It's not because it's not hard to call MTG out because she's a psychopath.
Yeah, of course.
And you know, you watch 5 minutes of her talking and you can call like 5 things out. But calling AOC is hard to out. So well done. Good job there. Fantastic job.
I agree with you there. I mean, AOC is definitely like just the
piece
poster for this kind of behavior. But
yeah, genuinely, like I have more respect for Nancy Pelosi. You could say like there was an argument to be made for Nancy Pelosi that they were, you know, they were grinded through the system and they became these monsters, or you know, that type of thing. I don't necessarily buy that argument, but you know, there's an argument, especially in 90s, be made that there was no left base to service to, right? But what's her fucking excuse? What, she's grinded within the 3 hours that she's been in Congress?
By the time she got like however it works, like introduction,
half an hour that she
package
took from New York to Congress. She was
that plane ride changed her. Yeah, I agree with you there, definitely. What else on the Democrats worth mentioning, discussing?
Yeah, there was that great Dems being Dems. I put it in our notes, but I just really wanted to talk about Kamala Harris's fantastic presence in that. Did you see that? That was amazing.
I saw some parts of it. Man, she is like, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like the current crop of Democrats, they are just like
incapable.
Even if for some reason they wanted to do it, like there's Kamala Harris and Biden have no like soft pressure ability, it seems, like through the media or anything to like, you know, corner a politician, change the narrative on something. They have like they have like nothing to like, you know, affect the people in Congress, and the people in Congress or Senate can't do anything against the more powerful ones. I mean, I know it was a very simple overview of the situation of the Dems, but yeah. And Kamala Harris represents like, she's like just the pinnacle of their uselessness right now.
I mean, it was just the questions couldn't have been put in a more calm and sympathetic manner, and the response. Can I call a friend? Can I ask a friend for help? You know, it was like she was like, who wants to be a millionaire? And the pressure she was under, I think, and then, oh my God, the part where she's like, you know, I'm a woman and I have a daughter, a stepdaughter, and yeah, my mother was a woman too. She's like trying to find every single woman that, and once I met a woman, I swear to God, I'm not lying. I met a woman, I talked and everything. I once had dinner with a woman, and it was, I mean, she left in the midway because I was so awkward that she felt uncomfortable and she left. But I swear to God, I've met women, I've talked to them. It was, after that interview, I was suspicious that Kamala may have not actually ever seen a woman or communicated with one. It was such a, like, she felt like, this is a gotcha question. I know women, and it was so
weird.
Man,
you know what? Like, for most people, becoming vice president, it's like a good, at least for their career, it should be good. But I think Kamala Harris, if you go to her and be like, should we just erase the past few years, go back to being a prosecutor? Would you take that? Would you happy? I think if I were her, I would have, because her presidential run was, you know, beyond embarrassing. Whatever, no shit happens. And for some reason, they put her here as vice president. God knows why, and not looking well. I mean, if I were her, I would be like, yes, please. Can we just forget about that? I'll go back to being
she's
a
gonna
prosecutor.
Become president.
Huh? Stop.
She's gonna become president. I promise
By
you.
literally default. Like, I mean,
No,
that's like
I
the
know-
definition
you know
of
how.
default.
Yeah, I promise it's gonna be anybody who's seen the TV show, one of the best, probably one of the best political comedies out there, Veep.
Mm.
I swear to God, he's the main character of Veep. The main character of Veep is a female vice president who's completely incompetent. And man,
Yeah, no,
you
I've seen
see
it.
Yeah, you might, yeah.
Yeah, with
Julia
Elaine, yeah.
Dreyfus, Elaine, yeah. By the way, Elaine, Jesus Christ, she's like 60 and she's as attractive as
Yeah, yeah,
ever. She just
feel you.
gets getting attractiver. She's got cancer. Did you hear about?
Oh wow, yeah, shit, I think so.
Very
Maybe
sad.
in passing, yeah.
Anyways, in that she's that character, man. It's unbelievable. The parallels are just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Like, and that show no longer, to be honest, looks like a satire at all because of Trump years and all that. But it's genuinely, she's her, and I think by default she's gonna become president at some point.
Yeah,
And then it's gonna be crazy. It's
gonna be like the worst. I mean, but yeah, no. I mean, the Democrats really doesn't matter who represents them anyway. It seems perhaps the same for Republicans, but
no,
I mean, I don't think. I think
entertainment-wise-
any Republican would beat her, though. I mean, she could only become president if Biden dies during his term.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Because I think no, because there's no way no matter
Depends.
what they do
If-
in 2024,
Republicans,
even if all the Democrats are behind her in 2024, there's no way she would beat any.
If Republicans go alienate Trump, then I think that's it. Because before Trump, I do think Republicans were. I don't know.
The DeSantis
without
guy
Trump,
from
they're
Florida,
nothing.
man, is he not running this?
No,
He
I
can
mean,
easily win.
yeah. No, that's but even DeSantis needs to court Trump voters. He cannot, like, for example, if Trump wants, I don't know. I that's my view anyway. I don't think if they alienate Trump voters, even DeSantis couldn't. Like, you know what I mean?
But why would they alienate them? And would
Yeah,
they...
exactly. It's their party now.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
well,
It's not Liz Cheney's party. So, and then last topic I was gonna talk about. Do you have anything else on Kamala?
Any more stupid comments?
No. January 6th, blockbuster lie. The lady who showed up, and
that
she
one.
was, I think she was drugged before she showed up to the Congress, and it was the weirdest testimony because she didn't even testify about something she saw. She testified about something she was told.
So it's hearsay.
About. Yeah, it was hearsay. Yeah, but then there were these democratic shit-lip idiot law professors that this is not actual court, so hearsay doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Under oath, but
Jesus.
it's under oath though, so she's telling the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Sure.
I mean, the story is so fantastical. She's like, yeah, Mr. President got so angry that he took out. And then he put up his southpaw, and then he lounged at the thing. He used his left leg to use a karate move to fight back the CIA. What are you fucking stupid? Like, Trump can't use the stairs. He lounged.
I can't see him lunging at anyone. I mean, maybe he tapped the guy from behind. That's if he's sitting in an SUV right behind him.
But then Liz Cheney, the fucking monstrous arms dealer avatar in Congress, who told you that? Mr. Ben told you that? Yes, it was Mr. Ben. Did he ever say that this story was not true? No, he never said this story. This lady, by the way, Jesus Christ, give her an Adderall or something. She needs to fucking, I don't know if it was so much Botox in her face or the Xanax overload or whatever the fuck it was. She seems like she just came out from a perfume ad or something. Like, Jesus Christ.
Man, but this one I didn't see, but it kind of reminds me of the journalist that The Hill brought on. Who spoke to Ryan Grimm, the one who had been to Poland on an EU tour.
Oh my God, Georgia,
I keep on thinking you're talking about her, Georgia.
Georgia.
That was the weirdest.
No,
she started her statement with Well, the tour that the EU took me on, I saw this and that. I was
Yeah,
like,
the
well, thank
EU forces, EU peacekeeping forces, they took me on this tour and they took me to the land of this Georgian man who had lost miles to the Russians. And he told me, we used to say Hitler was the worst, but now we say this was Putin. He was referring to the Russian regime, right? What a piece of shit that was. The reporting
That was something else,
and
huh?
even
That
Ryan,
was so
even
weird for
Ryan
them.
Grimm.
even for
Yeah, and
Hill, that
even-
was
even-
weird for the Rising.
No, it's not for the original Hill. For the Hill
Yeah,
Rising, it is.
yeah. She was a
But-
Hill
but-
reporter. Sorry to cut you off. She was
Yeah,
actually a
he was
Hill
a-
reporter. Yeah.
And then Ryan Grimm was like, that's too much, maybe. Even he was. By the way, the idea that Georgian people are like saying Hitler was the worst on earth. Half of Georgians are not. I mean, you people are idiots in America. Like, I'm sorry, but
Or everywhere.
I'm talking about
Oh.
journalists and these type of activists, especially. This idea that the Georgian nationalist people. I mean, do you know how Georgia even came about? You fucking backward,
Calm down,
uneducated.
calm down.
Yeah, like that. The lady was amazing. Like going to a Georgian in. Yeah, I talked to a farmer. Told me the real Hitler now is.
And the way she was taking on it, I mean, it's fine. Go on these tours.
Georgia,
But-
just so people know, was not an independent state. It was part of half of Georgia was part of Ottomans. The other half was part of Persia. Before that, it was part of the Great Turkish Empire. Because they were Christians, they started getting protection from the Russian Tsar. So they were never an independent kingdom. You could go back to periods of time during before medieval times. We go to Roman, Persian eras. Even then, they were either under the control of the Roman Empire or the Persian Empire. They were never an independent nation. Sorry.
No. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, and I was just gonna say, it's fine if you go on one of these like tours as journalists, whatever. The EU offers you one.
But
You
don't
go.
think what
But
you
then,
see is
yeah, and
gospel.
don't base you. It's like that one experience was her whole report. I really found it weird that she was like so transparent on the thing that she just went on this and she's basing everything that she's saying. Because another journalist would be like, I went there, we did this and that, and I also went on like, the EU thing, and then kind of put it all together. But at least she was
Because these-
honest and straightforward.
These are
I
not.
just came back with this press release from the White House. Let me read this for you, okay?
know,
Thank you.
These are not fact-finding missions. These are let's find the facts that support
Yeah.
our arguments finding missions. So it's kind of like, to be honest, I don't really blame I remember me, at least in the when I was an undergraduate student, a lot of times when I would write articles, I would already have an argument.
Yeah.
Or maybe I read 2 pieces of literature.
Yeah.
I genuinely mean 2 pieces, not more. I form an argument and then I write an article. Then I go and see this argument
you
fits with
Put
this
the
piece of
sources in there. Yeah.
yeah. So this is how they work, as like about things as well. This is like they're on undergrad level when you haven't done the literature work, but
Yeah.
the main arguments from some general textbook and all that. So they already have their arguments. Now we need to find human story about how my personal life was hit by the Russian war. Now we need to find a human story about a woman who was like pregnant, who was hit by the war. Now we need to find a human story about the bourgeois business class people. So we get this target audience. So now we get this. If we can find a minority that Black people could relate to, for example, that's how they approach it.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately. And I mean, in this one, she was very honest about it. So that was that was a good thing. But yeah, anything else on the Democrats?
No, nothing else, thankfully. I mean, I'm so glad that during our Democrats section, we recalled 2 of the Hill's biggest crimes during the last 2 weeks, defending AOC as someone with board view, and the reporting from Georgia, from the front lines of Ossetia and Abkhazia, who, by the way, again, very complex issues. I don't want to give a. I think my outburst may have made it look like I'm a reductionist on the matter. I'm not, but it's not. I was reacting to a reductionist take, but
I would like, there's huge issues there, very complex issues with ethnicity, land rights, and all that. But it's not how they present it.
No,
at
fair
all.
enough.
Abkhazia is a region that is disputed between Georgia and Russia.
Court actually took a constitutional right that has been recognized for half a century and took it from the women of America. That's shocking when you think about it, in terms of what that means, in terms of democratic principles, in terms of the ideals upon which we were founded about liberty, about freedom. I thought about it as, a parent. We have 2 children who are in their 20s, a son and a daughter. I thought about it as a godparent of teenagers. I thought of it as an aunt of preschool children.
And a woman yourself.
And a woman myself. And the daughter of a woman. And a granddaughter of a woman.
Mrs. Vice President, what are Democrats going to do?
Look, the Roe versus Wade decision is I understand it's very scary times for us. Right now, in the makeup of the Senate, okay, I'm sorry, if we don't have the makeup is not really there, okay, we can't pass anything, so we can't do anything. But we have to make sure and go and stop the states, Republicans in the states, and we'll try to make them hear our voice that, that's we can maybe, some people say about federal lands, we are not talking about that, but maybe not, and but I know how women feel, and I have a daughter who's a woman, I believe. I have a stepdaughter. She's also a woman. One time I saw it in the shower. She's definitely a woman. I have a cousin who's a woman.
And Mrs. Vice President, your mother as well, right? She's a woman, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken.
yes, yeah. Thanks, Jesus, thank you. Yeah, my mother is a woman. My grandmother was a woman. I swear to God, I also had lunch once with a woman. I'm definitely not from an alien race, and I'm not pretending to be them. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. And so I know how, I'm definitely not alien. And I don't understand these gotcha questions, though. I'm a woman, and I know women.
And as Vice President, do you support the right to abortion?
Sorry, my feet. Do I support the right? Guys, the answers are not. Well, as a look, some federal land and stuff, but we have elections coming up in 3 months or next year, and we should focus on that. And I don't know if we have a senator in Georgia we want to elect and stuff. So I don't know if we can really. I'm a woman. I'm definitely a woman, and that's definitely true. That's so. I don't know. Maybe we'll. My thing is broken, so I don't know how to. I can't. Let me just a second talk to my alien. Sorry, no, to my friends. It's not working.
All right, Sam, let's keep this party rolling. What do you have for us next?
So sorry, before moving on to other stories we teased. I just want to, yeah, there was also Glenn did an interview with Christopher Rufo, who's a conservative activist. I mean, it was.
What was that about?
It's his anti-LGBT stuff. He's like kind of like, you know, he's anti-critical race theory and stuff. It was about him being, I mean, he's maligned in mainstream media and demonized. I would agree with that. But largely because he's a demon. So, you know, he kind of deserves it. So, I mean, he's somebody who's part of Heritage Foundation. So, I mean, I listened to 10 minutes. I couldn't really, because they continue, because he was just talking about, yeah, journalists should, you know, I look at it as a, you know, it's just idiotic usual, you know, oh, blah, blah. Journalists should, you know, be, you know, we politically educate people. And I don't, so nonsense. I don't. Yeah, so I couldn't really, but he's a hack. I wouldn't waste too much time on that. But then there was also, Brie also had a discussion, I think, on bad faith, on the, about housing or some shit. I mean, two of the guests were activists, and one of them is activist. One of them was the lady she keeps bringing on. She's running for some congressional seat somewhere. Yeah, it brings her on all time. And you know, I didn't watch that. Frankly, I completely lost my faith in her, and the discussion just seemed to be. I don't understand, like. Yeah, I really don't, especially activists. And then because I read the blurb she wrote under description under the YouTube thing, like the political campaigner is going to bring her own personal experience of talking to homeless people. I mean, I don't need that. Thank you. I know the experience of, I don't need somebody to tell me about, did you know homeless people, they don't have a roof over their head. Water, when it rains, hits them and they get sick and die. I don't need to know that by tell me, or bullshit. I didn't watch it, to be honest. I just felt like this is our segment that we talk about shows on YouTube and stuff. I mention them if people want to check them out, or you know, but I the housing one especially, I wouldn't waste my time. I don't know. Would you watch that?
No, I mean, I haven't. No, I mean, so far you did make it so enticing. I mean,
there are
some interesting stuff to talk about. And I can't remember when they were talking about, you know, homeless issues, and of course the way they like, you know, the policies and all this, you know. So it depends where the topic went, right? The policies on
depends
when
on
they
the
say
guests
you can't have it, what they do. So it can be an interesting topic.
No,
but
I didn't watch it. I didn't. I was two of the guests. One of them was an activist, which is like fuck that, and one is running to become a politician for Democratic Party, and then there is one professor from Copenhagen.
And the blurb is kind of didn't definitely. I see what you mean. Don't need to have. Okay, so you spoke to the homeless people. Okay. Now we.
No, I mean, I don't know.
No,
Maybe
really
she gave some fantastic insights that nobody saw coming. But I don't know what more insight you need when somebody's homeless. They don't have a fucking home. They can't go to bathroom. Like, it's just there is no. We need to go more. We need to actually have homeless people in Congress. Until we have homeless people in Congress, they cannot relate to the issue.
Yeah, that's the limitation of that kind of thinking. And you often don't need, like, I mean, I've never had issues paying for healthcare, but I know that I believe that they should have free access healthcare at, you know, point of service. So
exactly. That's, I mean, again, I've never suffered from cancer, but I believe cancer treatment should be free for everyone. Like, I don't have to experience it.
Yeah.
You know. But so, I don't know, it seemed like very boring, frankly, more than anything. I'm not saying it was probably bad. They probably talked about very nice stuff. We should do more social housing. We should do rent controls. I'm sure they talked about all of that. But so that was it. I thought I'll give a full panopticon view of what's going on online, I guess.
And so how are the strikes evolving in the UK? How are they going?
To be honest, I'm not on the strike things. I haven't been able to find anything today. But I mean, I shared the news with you throughout the week. There's strikes. Some strikes were going ahead. Post workers, people who work in the law offices,
people working in steel factories. A lot of people are balloting for strikes, and the thing is that inflation in UK has gone up significantly, like
Yeah.
everybody else. Cost of living has gone up, and as Mike Lynch, the leader of the strikers, largely for trains and underground, pointed out that this is the first time that inflation is going up while the living standards are going down, something along those lines. So it's really bad. And workers, I think, correctly argue that they've already had pay freezes and effective pay cuts in real terms, as in relative to inflation. So that's going on. The funniest aspect of the whole thing is the media. I mean, I didn't think British media would be so weird about Marxists and leftists and stuff. Richard and Judy, I forget what show he's on now, Good Morning Britain or whatever. He was having Mike Lynch on, and he said, what did he say? Are you a Marxist? Because if you're Marxist, we need to know, because if you're Marxist, you're into revolution and you're in throwing away capitalism. And that's very, very, that we need to be clear. And Mike Lynch was like, said something along, you say some nonsense sometimes. And it was like, no, this is not nonsense. I'm saying some people accuse you this. I'm not saying this. This is real reporting. And it was like, okay, man, just chill out. Like, even if you're gonna do harsh questioning, like, just chill out. You're getting so excited. Then Piers Morgan had this whole debate because Mike looks like the character from Thunderbirds, the bad guy from Thunderbirds with the eyebrows like that. I was like, why did you choose that character's picture for your Facebook profile image? Is that some subtle way of you telling us you're the most evil man in the world? And he was like, it's a joke between me and my friends. Do you see the resemblance? And he's like, yeah, but why? I'm interested in your psychology when you choose the most evil man.
That was amazing by Piers Morgan. I just baffled at how people can behave that way, just over and over again, just asking the same stupid question, but with such authority and confidence in like the stupid thing that he's asking. For like 3 minutes, he kept on asking him that question over and over again, and he's like, yeah, okay, do you want me to talk about cartoons or something like that? Well. And again, that's like the art of, I don't know, man, British journalism, whether it's like the bad ones, piss me off sometimes more. Sometimes piss me off more than the American, especially because when you're asking stupid questions, but also at the same time pretending like, you're all like, well, you don't pretend, but you're combative, but you're trying to get like, to the bottom of it, but at the same time you're acting like a jackass. Just
the cherry on top was the lady who kept asking Mike Lynch about the picketing. And because, like, I don't know how else he would have basically, she was like, so your supporters they are picketing the lines. What does that gonna mean? And he's like, well, they're picketing, they're gonna picket, And he's like, no, but what would that include? They're gonna try to ask the people to go to work, not to go to work. It's picketing. And she's like, no, but I'm thinking of the violent protest of back in 80s. Would that I don't know what you want. This is a picket. He's literally like, this is a picket. Look at it. I don't know how to explain. This is it says a picket is when people stand and ask. She think, Jesus. And those people, Piers Morgan and Hare, they both tweeted out that segments themselves as a proud moment of their that's great insane. Journalistic work. Yeah. So, great. But at the same time, you had Starmer just continuing to be a piece of shit. He announced they're going to completely abandon 2019 manifesto. And then he did that interview sponsored by guess who?
Literally sponsored?
By one of the biggest arms manufacturers in the UK. Yeah, the Labour leader party. And people tell me that you change your mind, and I say, I changed my mind. 40 years ago I was a different person. I used to believe in fairy tales. I don't believe in fairy tales anymore. Ha 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 ha. Shove it up your ass. Like it's as if you're talking about when he was 17. He was
Yeah.
57. He made those pledges, and he's pivoting to the right. And oh, you have to change because I'm somebody who gets things done. I was a prosecutor. I was.
Yeah.
What a loser. I mean, that's the thing. We made fun of Boris Johnson in our progressive geopolitics. Whatever he is, he's not this level of incompetent. He's not. He's more evil for sure, probably in policies. I don't know actually. Maybe not. He's not more evil. His gang that he's with do more damage.
Yeah,
Probably the gang. He's personally probably more apathetic, but he's fun. He's at least interesting. He has a character. He's not some fucking goo come to life.
No, that's why he just, Keir Starmer always say the same thing. He's just such a 2020 Democrat, or perhaps Democrats have always been like this, but he just belongs in the Democratic Party in the States.
Yeah, well, and then this came out today. Starmer allies reject claims left-wingers blocked from standing for Labour. This is in The Guardian. So the marginalization of the left in the Labour Party is getting to the level that even Guardian is writing about it. Party figures understood to have urged leader to rein in acolytes after candidates from left excluded from long lists. Keir Starmer allies have rejected claims he is acting to block anyone to the left of Tony Blair from standing for the party at the next general election, as his project of reshaping Labour moves to its next stage, parliamentary selection. Since the swing of than 12% to Labour in last week's Wakefield by-election. Oh, wow. Guardian had to put that in there because, swing of 12% in, by-election. In a by-election for a government that's been in power for more than a decade, in a by-elections where always opposition parties have a higher turnout. Jesus Christ. So the focus on the next wave of, candidates have intensified and marginalized them. So that's
not
fun.
Surprised there. All right, Sam, let's move on to our last two Hollywood stories. So what's going on with Jennifer Aniston? And then, this Ezra Miller thing seems to be blowing up.
Yeah, Jennifer, where do you stand on Rachel and Jennifer Aniston?
I like her. She's not bad. The only thing that I ever think of whenever I think of Jennifer Aniston is that her publisher has done the craziest job. I mean, especially when I lived in Canada, I would always go to the pharmacy and the type of supermarkets, and they always had the magazines right there from People's Magazine and all this. She was the most consistent person I've ever seen to always make it on the cover. So I don't know. Whenever I think of Jennifer Aniston, I think of good publisher. Recently, that's the thing.
Good agent.
Yeah, good. If not outside of Friends, do I really like anything? Horrible Bosses.
What do you think of her acting?
Man, I'm really not good at telling if someone's a good or bad acting, but for her, I wouldn't necessarily say that she's neither good nor bad. Her acting doesn't stand out to me.
Particularly.
But she's not horrible either or anything like that. But
yeah, I was morning show. She's not bad.
Morning show. Yeah.
She recently apparently said that she's not a big fan of people who are internet famous, TikTokers and YouTubers.
Oh, really? Okay.
And she thinks that they're just they haven't worked hard, and they are they are just I guess they're fame whores. I don't know what.
Okay, well now I take her a million times less. By the way, when people have takes like that, I mean that's
I know, right?
As something can get. Thank you for that, Jennifer. I think.
I to be honest, I'm looking for a proper source for this,
Jesus
but I'm
Christ.
pretty sure it's true. But the funny thing is, if somebody says that, I don't know, Thomas Pynchon or
I don't know, Noam Chomsky or Cornel West or who else? Come on,
Yeah.
give me.
No, or like anyone except the Hollywood act. Not even that. It's not that they don't. It's just a stupid thing. I mean, I hate things like this. I just hate. But yeah, and then here I have it. I mean, Newsweek, they say the headline is Jennifer Aniston slammed for saying influencers diluting our actors' job. So I mean,
Yeah, it's fascinating coming from somebody who's actually Greek but changed her family name, and her father was in, I believe, Days of Our Lives, and it's just so funny. Somebody who's so goddamn, I hate to say this, but fucking privileged,
yeah.
talking about other people who are maybe. And by the way, Jennifer Aniston, have you looked into the mirror or have you seen your own movies? Do you think you're in there because of your fantastic acting
Yeah.
purely and your hard work, or is it because you're just hot? Partially.
No, I mean,
because
this is
your acting has never been that
I
outstanding,
I
frankly.
hate things like this. Yeah.
I know,
I hate
right?
it.
Just the idea that Jennifer Aniston, it's not like, again, if I'm trying to think, like Meryl Streep comes out and say that, okay, I can to an
Yeah.
extent get it from her age, from her background, from her level of acting, or even let's say somebody like Marion Cotillard or something.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Aniston, yeah, next thing we're gonna say,
Diluting the
Carrot Top is criticizing others for their idiotic jokes.
And I love the diluting
Get
the
over it.
actor's job.
You-
Go shove your actor job up your ass, as if it's like a
Yes,
doctor
exactly.
saying like this is diluting
Yeah.
the doctor's thing. Okay,
The
now maybe
professionalism is getting lower. It's
so
so
maybe
bad.
that's
It's
a
so bad.
concern for society. Maybe if some things are happening in
Yeah.
medical, your
People-
industry,
yeah,
you can
the-
go shove it up your ass. I don't
Yeah,
know why I get so
literally shove
pissed
it up
off
your
of
ass.
things like this. But
And I know, like, what a pretentious, like, I mean, oh yeah, they're diluting our. I mean, just again, somebody who's so like Friends, one of the like the TV show which was basically the most like family friendly. We're gonna aim for everybody show. Like people from different languages
Yeah.
can watch it and understand because half of it is slapstick,
Mhm.
And I used to like it when I was a kid. By the way, I don't want to
Yeah,
say that,
same,
but
don't
the
get me
idea that as if she was doing Macbeth on a
Yeah.
stage before.
I mean,
And
just think about one of the main actors from that show, like what his role was and like how much joy. I mean, not the most sophisticated level
All
of
of them.
acting and jokes and all of them.
except Phoebe, none of them really could act. To be honest, it's been proven. Like David Schwimmer maybe a bit, but
What about
frankly,
Chandler?
no.
No.
I mean, meh. Chandler, it seems he has a lot of personal issues as well.
Oh
so
yeah.
he keeps getting to.
I got a soft
drugs
spot
and-
for him. Yeah. No, he was like major
Yeah, me
alcoholic.
too, because he was the.
I think.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I liked him in that. What was it? The Aaron Sorkin show, the Studio 60. I liked him in that, but they can't really. I mean, like they're not. We're
Yeah,
not
none
talking-
of them.
Again,
Only Jennifer
just
Aniston
go-
became something after, right? Who was?
What?
Only
Has
Jennifer Aniston has a movie
No, she
career.
didn't became something after. She became something
No,
during when she
continue
remained
to
that.
be something. Okay, fine.
Yeah, no, but
Because, no,
Phoebe,
Joey,
I would
they
say,
gave him
since
his
then
show.
Phoebe has done great work.
But lead, was she ever like
really
lead
great
though?
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
But,
was leading. What's that show? The Fame? No, not Fame. Yeah, she in an HBO show. She did
Yeah,
genuine
but I just
like
feel
good
like not
jobs.
blow
She
up.
did good acting.
Yeah. Okay. No, fair enough. But I meant
She
like
did
blow
Web
up.
Therapy.
Like Joey
Jennifer
didn't
Aniston
blow up
remains-
after
Jennifer
Chandler.
Aniston
no.
remained a celebrity, like
Yeah.
the people she's criticizing. Paris. Nobody was interested in what was last great Jennifer Aniston movie you see.
Yeah.
Tell me. The people were interested in her because she was married to Brad Pitt, and then they got divorced, and then they had the children. It wasn't because she was
And then she was in front of.
derailed. What a fantastic movie with Clive Owen, broke box office records,
Yeah.
earning more than $50 million.
And it's
who's
funny.
talking about that?
And it's funny that I actually made that comment before knowing the story. The one that all I think of her is being on the front page of this stupid Hollywood and People's Magazine. So it's kind of funny that she's actually really one of those. And then she comes out and says TikToker and
She-
YouTuber, whatever her
she did
point
couple-
was. I don't even know what her point really was, but
She did a couple of serious movies. To be fair, these last few years, I haven't seen.
hey, and I
She
love
has-
the breakup one.
Oh, I hate
Because
that.
that
movie
guy's
so much.
hilarious in that
He's
show, in
not
that movie
hilarious.
at
Vince
least.
Vaughn.
Yeah, that's like his
No.
perfect. Like he was just being
That's the
himself.
thing. I
Did
hate
he
that.
have a script? I think they just told him to come on and be you. I
I
like
hate
him in
that movie so much. That movie is like for me, that movie is the nightmare movie. It's
Oh.
not drama, it's not comedy, it's
Yeah.
trying to do both. It fails at both, in my view. It's the most nonsensical, oh, they break up, but
Yeah,
oh,
I know.
like it's so nonsense. It's just such a like
But like
it's
as a
before
15
2000
or I
was
don't
it
know.
before 2008 or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
That must have been before 2008.
I don't know.
Process.
But like as a kid, you watch these shows like movies, all like grown-ups breaking up. It must be so serious. But now you think about it, it's like, wait, what was this? What was the movie about? So these two people who weren't married and didn't have kids together broke up. There's definitely a movie there.
There's definitely a movie there. There's definitely a story.
I like the plot.
Vince Vaughn, by the way, famous conservative. He's super conservative. Does movies with Mel Gibson also.
But hey, but what's up with this other guy?
Which other guy?
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. Let's get to the fun.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. I found our next Amber Heard. Like, we're gonna do this every week, hopefully. I mean, if there is updates. Okay, do you know about Ezra Miller? What do you know about him? Where do you know? Have you seen him act?
His face is so familiar. Let me just see the one thing that I know him.
He's one of the most. I find him to be awful, acting and personal wise. Before the whole thing, we're gonna talk about the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm looking quickly if there's anything that jumps at me. Yeah.
He has started. He's one of these new generation of like Timothée Chalamet style guys that are young, very young, slender, sort of, very, very fragile.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. Sorry,
features.
I've probably just seen.
No,
him
he's
in
not
Suicide Squad.
No, he's very brief in that. I doubt you've
maybe
seen
they're flash as that, but yeah.
So, yeah,
okay,
very
sorry.
brief.
Continue. Yeah.
But yeah, he did a couple of indie movies. He came to attention, and he identifies as a non-binary, blah 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 blah. And every time he shows up at the red carpet, he's dressed like a fucking weirdo. And I find him so weird. I've always found him so weird, so obnoxious. I like his presence, just creepy presence. Creepy, flamboyant presence. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People work. This is nobody. I don't understand who is like. This is only I've seen that in movies. I've never seen real people except celebrities that are like, hello girl, what's up girl, what's going on? I'm a blonde. I don't believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just anyway. So he's always been on my nerve hugely, and then I got Schadenfreude because I was like, oh, what a disgusting. Why does he get roles? I just don't, it's disgusting. And then it turned out, I mean, it's a very weird story. It turned out he's been in a relationship with a girl that is of American Indian background, Tokata Iron Eyes, who's apparently an activist, whose parents have now sort of reported her missing or kidnapped, I guess. I don't know what's going on with the specific details. Is he a fugitive or not? And I saw some people on Law and Courts Network or whatever, people weren't sure exactly what's going on.
Wow.
But he's been accused of controlling this girl who he's known since she was 13 and he was like 21 or something for about a decade. And now they're on a run together. Then the allegations came out that on his farm, he had guns, and there was a lady who was there with her child, that they were escaping a domestic abuse like situation. And then he let them stay in his farm, but then there was a lot of weapons and bullet, and there was a baby. There was an incident that a 1-year-old kid put a bullet in their mouth. It's really crazy stuff.
And there's more to it.
Maybe the girl, to be honest, there was also reports that the girl tweeted or put a Facebook post that my family are they're liars and he's only protecting me or something. So she might be running away with him.
Yeah.
What I would like to, but according, by the way, this is why US, very much like Iran and Britain to an extent, is an empire rather than a nation, in a sense that because she's of Native American background, she's under the authority of the tribe. So she's not adult till she's 21, not 18. That's why the parents could start legal proceedings. Yeah. So I would like to know.
But sorry, before you get into that, I also wanted to mention that maybe you were going there. That's my bad. But he's also in like trouble for harassing or choking people in Iceland and Germany.
Yeah, those are European. Yeah, there's a video of him choking a lady. Then there was apparently on the shooting, he was on a set of a movie, and in 2 weeks, police were called on him 10 times.
What?
There was a there is a apparently he went into some other people's suite, like a couple's suite, and threatened them with a gun or something, or threatened them they should get out. There is a video of him getting arrested by the police, and he kept saying, I'm getting arrested, I'm getting harassed, I'm a non-binary. It's just such a weirdo piece of shit, really weirdo piece of shit. But the jail thing is the most serious thing, and what he's after. Listen, the free-spirited young indigenous activist had been launched onto the national stage during the 2016 Standing Rock pipeline protest at the tender age of 12, and found themselves feted by stars from Angelina Jolie to Greta Thunberg. But Tokata, who uses the pronouns she, they, has become an unrecognizable shell of their former self since falling under the influence of Ezra Miller. Parents Chase Iron Eyes and Sarah Jumping Eagle, I'm sorry, but Jumping Eagle told the Independent. So I'm sorry, but what kind of a parents allow their child to their at least girl, when she was a child, she was a girl, to hang out with a 21-year-old and travel to London, according to one report, for one of their scenes with him. Like, this is a fail. That parents should be arrested immediately, those parents, in my view.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, I would like to know more detail, but yeah, no, I feel you. And I mean, but I'm just going to give like an example of why I guess things like this happen. And you know about this one, I'm sure. You know the Michael Jackson one, and you've seen the documentaries, right?
Yeah.
So like those two dancing
one.
Okay, so those same. Those two dancer kids, I mean, you know, they were sent off with Michael Jackson to just be with Michael Jackson from a young age, and the parents allowed them going from Australia to the US because, well, he's Michael Jackson. Are they going to stop them from, you know, this could be their opportunity to becoming, you know,
because they were into money, because those parents because those parents should be arrested and put into jail because they put money and fame above their children's safety. That's why.
Yeah, or I mean, yeah, maybe they would argue, no, I did it for our kids, but because of Michael Jackson, to give them a chance, so, you know, for this opportunity, Michael Jackson came, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. I'm sorry, but if you don't send a minder with your child, I mean, you're as this. I mean, even Michael Jackson case, he was clearly somebody with psychotic personal issues. So I definitely, the parents in that case, the parents were definitely, I feel, partially were to blame. I mean,
yeah, and I think they do blame themselves based on a documentary.
I hope they do. I hope the government blames them. That's the real blame.
I mean, it hasn't reached that level, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It should. But Frank, if you don't leave your child with a minder when they are supervised by some I mean, what the fuck? Like, seriously, this is like 101. That's like one thing you have to do as a. It's like.
Don't talk to strangers.
No, it's just, yeah, it's like they figured that one thing, you know, he shouldn't, like, yeah, it's just so stupid. Like, Jesus. And now they're like, they're saying the parents are saying, listen to this, the parents are saying, where is it? Mr. Iron Eyes, 44, this month lodged an order. He accuses in court of grooming from the age 12, applying them with psychedelic drugs, including LSD, ketamine, cannabis, and alcohol for years. My family is living a nightmare. Miss Jumping Eagle, 57.
But yeah, I mean, how are the kids around him so much? And he's no Michael Jackson. He's Ezra Miller. So I don't know what kind of promises he could have made. I see the Michael Jackson one a bit more, but this is a 29-year-old actor who has a few roles.
You know,
he was, he was a
But I don't
bigger
know the
star,
details.
hot and upcoming star. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't understand why those parents are not also.
But do they say how?
I
Like,
don't-
what
I
was
mean,
the
to be honest, I
contact?
don't
Like, well, like
understand.
how? Like, how was their daughter in touch with him? Like, how did they? Like, do you know more about it?
Oh, I don't know. I just read the details that since they've developed a relationship and a friendship, and he was a support. Again, I think there was a message by her that said that, oh, he's always been a source of support and understanding for me, and my family are being transphobic. I think something like that, or sexist or something along those lines. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know her
be honest,
case
but they,
either at
I
all.
guess.
But yeah, it's also reminding me she seems to have taken some talking points from the R. Kelly victims, because that was their thing too, right? Like R. Kelly's protecting them from their parents who are like horrible people.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Fuck.
The ones that would defend him, the ones that were, like still on his
Yeah.
side, like some of the big
Protecting
ones.
them by pissing on them, huh? Jesus Christ. What a just again, we talked about this yesterday, but like, I'm sorry, but I really, in these cases, I can't say I can't, at least emotionally, I really want them to be executed.
I mean, I don't know exactly
If
what.
there is,
Yeah.
if there was a world in which we could have a government which would make 100% accurate decisions about guilty and innocent, the first thing after cold-blooded murder I want to see go is these motherfuckers. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And but I must say, with Ezra Miller though, I was happy with my armchair psychology from afar, because he always seemed like such a creep. Such a creep, Just look at, did you see some of his pictures from red
I'm looking
carpet?
right
Am
now,
I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the way he's dressed a lot of times. But yeah, I mean, Toccata, Eagle Eye, I don't know. But I would be interested if anybody can tell me what is going on with, is he a fugitive now? Are they apparently he's a fugitive and they're after him.
Yeah.
But I don't understand, what's going on. Listen to, okay, let me, okay. Iron Eye's parents claim that an inappropriate relationship began between the pair in 2016. The Dakota Access Pipeline protest when Miller was 23 and Iron Eyes was 12. The parents further claim, and photos documents, that the year after the two met, Iron Eye flew to London to visit Miller on Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. In 2021, Toccata dropped out of school allegedly to follow Miller. Iron Eye's parents also allege in the legal documents that Miller caused bruises on Toccata Iron Eyes. I don't know, bruises now are on her eyes, or is that her family? And that Miller had given Iron Eyes a large amount of LSD in 2020. A response came via Toccata Iron Eyes' Instagram account denying the parents' allegation, declaring herself to be both mentally stable and in contact with a mental health professional. So, I mean, unless, okay, I'm gonna give one caveat. If I don't know about their family specifically, maybe she was one of these psycho children who would go psycho on their parents whenever they tried to control her.
Some.
They were trying to give her a space and they were trying to placate her and stuff. So maybe they tried everything else. But as a general rule, I don't understand why we would allow your child to, 12-year-old, 13-year-old child, to hang out with a 20-year-old.
Couldn't agree more with you. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. But
But
I mean, he seems to be in a hot international mess.
Yeah, I'm glad though he's out of the movies for sure.
That's good. No, I mean,
it's finished, thank God. But
point.
he's the sad thing is, I was looking actually forward to his new Flash movie because Michael Keaton is gonna come back as Batman.
Ah, really?
Yeah, the Batman you like. He's gonna come back as Batman. I like him too. So this one looks to be, it's gonna be fun.
except his soy banter bullshit that he's always, hey, I'm a bit weird, but I'm funny. Oh, weirdo. Ugh.
Damn.
But yeah, so that's, and I don't know what they're gonna do. They might even shelf the movie, I think, because these allegations are just so fucked up.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because yeah. But yeah, fucked up, really fucked up.
Definitely. But okay, all right. Let's wrap this up. If anybody has some comments, questions, criticisms, please make sure to leave them below and we'll get to them. If not, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next video. Thank you.
I don't hate immigrants, really. I don't.